Well, hello? No, we don't have any game audio. Okay, give me a second. Okay, how about now? Do we have game audio? Okay, yeah, it looks like it. Awesome, and we are live. The only thing left to check now is whether or not the audio is working on the stream, or whether or not it's just false positive in OBS. Which wouldn't be a false positive. It means OBS is getting audio, it's just not outputting it, which happens from time to time. Let me see if I can hear myself as well. Okay, yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, alright. Howdy, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and things probably look a little bit different, and that is because I've moved my camera. In the past, the face cam that you're all looking at right now and that you're all very accustomed to, although I guess it is a little bit different as well, it's in a slightly different wrapper. I decided to be fun and cute with it and try to do something a little bit different. But that aside, where my camera normally is a solid about 8 feet or so, like over there on a wall. Not actually on the wall. It's on a stand on a desk on a wall. Against a wall, I should say. Which has caused some problems with the autofocus. And I think has also kind of affected quality overall, sharpness and everything. And I decided, you know what, I bet I can get something slightly better looking, get something slightly clearer, something a little bit nicer, if I got a little bit closer to the camera. And so what I did was I moved the camera from 8 feet away to about 2 feet away. I can touch you now, and that's fun. The issue is the 40mm lens on my camera is kind of tight. It's a little bit close, alright? If you're thinking, man, Reese, you've cropped this in a little too close, well, let me assure you, it's... let me show you what it looks like. So, I understand it's inside of a box right now. What does it look like when it's not inside of a box? That's a great question. This is the full frame. This is it. Bet you never wanted to see my face this close and in such high quality, high clarity. But, this is it. So, it's not my fault. I haven't pinched it in or anything to fit inside of this box. It's just really close. I might have to get a different lens. I also can't get my Stream Deck to work. I had to reload Pop! OS, and when I reinstalled the Stream Deck, the software, for some reason, doesn't show up in applications. It can only be launched from the terminal, and it doesn't actually seem to work properly, and I don't know if maybe I did the setup wrong or something. I'll have to look into it, but yeah, that's why I have to get my keyboard out to switch scenes and switch between programs. It's very annoying. It's not at all ideal. It's not the experience that I would hope to have. But this is where we're at. Now, the last thing I want to say before I'll go ahead and hit the button so we can load into the game. I recently did some hardware upgrades. If you are a channel member, if you're a legend, you'll know that I swapped out my CPU, and that went well, and I went from a 5800X to 5800X 3D, which might sound like the same thing with 2 extra digits at the end. Well, 1 extra digit, 1 extra letter, 1 extra number. You wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't be right either. It's made quite a difference to performance going between those chips. I also upgraded from a 6900 XT, which was fine, and I did need to upgrade from it, to a 7900 XTX, which I think is a good card. The issue is, apparently full support for it is in Linux kernel version 6.3, and there's some Mesa driver updates I should have installed, but Pop! OS is on Linux kernel 6.2, and I don't want to switch to a different kernel. The only way I know to do that would be using the Ubuntu mainline kernel updater, and I don't want to use an Ubuntu kernel. So also, I don't know how to update Mesa drivers. So, I mean, the card works. We're very clearly in the game, and we're running buttery smooth right now. So, no issues. It's just, it doesn't know what the card is. In fact, I think even I don't know if it'll do it in this game, but in some games, if you go to, like, your video settings, and you can find a place where it tells you like what your GPU is. I don't think it'll do it on this game. I'm not sure. I had to do it in another game. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, select GPU, right? So this is where we choose the GPU we want to render on. AMD unknown, RADV GFX 1100. I don't know what that means, but I mean, for the most part, I've run around the castle a little bit since I installed it, and aside from it just happened. Sometimes things turn black, like my hat. I don't know why. Sometimes people's clothing does that. I don't know why. The best thing I can say is that we're just gonna carry on, and we're gonna pretend that that's just the evil taking over our clothing. There's a darkness in the castle. There's a darkness at Hogwarts that sometimes takes over one's hat. Hopefully they'll update the kernel on Pop! OS, or I'll figure out how to install new Mesa drivers, and maybe that'll fix it. Or maybe it's just the game. Maybe there'll be an update to the compatibility layer that fixes it. At this point, I kind of feel like I'm at the whims of other people who are donating their time to these projects. So thank you for your constant support on the free and open source software community. Developers, you're the best. Thank you. Okay, what are we doing? What are our quests? It's all gobbledygook and the man behind the moons. We have found a couple more Demiguise moons. I don't think we found enough, though. I don't think we found the 5 more that we need. But we might as well go run up there and turn in the ones that we do have. And we will see kind of how that shakes out, see how many we have left to deposit. Hopefully we're getting close, though. I don't think we found an Alohomora Tier 3 lock yet. But I'm assuming, I mean, we're kind of progressing into the story at a good rate now. So I think we're probably going to end up in areas where they do have those Tier 3 chests, and it'll be nice to have them. Or rooms or houses, because it's not just chests you can unlock with those. Dalton, welcome to the live stream. How am I doing? I'm doing great. I've not streamed the past few days. I guess I should probably go ahead and explain that. I've been working on Saturdays the last few weeks. So just taking some overtime and making a little bit of extra scratch, you know, in this economy. Every opportunity, I feel like I gotta take it. So been working on Saturdays, and then last week we didn't stream on Sunday because I was out of town. Or did we? Did we stream Sunday morning? I can't remember. I went out of town last Sunday. We might have streamed in the morning. I think we might have streamed on a Monday as well, though, or something.
I'm still struggling.
But hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, things will be quieted down, and we can wrap this game up.
Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings!
Okay, Mr. Moon's clothing is also broken.
Those Demiguise statues.
Good. I actually have some moons for you.
I have some moons for you.
So you have. But bring me a few more, and I'll show you how to improve casting Alohomora.
Okay, I will keep looking.
I'll keep an eye out for more Demiguise statues and see if I can bring you more moons.
I commend you for your courage and valor, especially since they can only be collected at night.
Yes, sir. I feel like we've had that conversation so many times. So his clothes are broken. My hat is broken. I don't think these students' robes should be this like jet black, so they're broken. So as you can see, sometimes updating to the latest graphics card on Linux is just not the recommended thing to do. Ironically, if I had an NVIDIA card, which a lot of like Linux purists hate because they have their closed source drivers, but if I had an NVIDIA card, it would just work right now because I would just have their closed source drivers. This is fine though. They're all wearing black robes anyway, so who cares if they're as black as the night, you know? I've got my black hat on. That's supposed to be, I think, a tan color. I'm just curious to see what else breaks and in what sort of fantastic ways. So it turns out we went from having 8 turned into 9, which is not really enough to make a dent in things, so we're going to move on to its all gobbledygook. We know who we need to ask about this. We've met a student in the past who can speak gobbledygook. It was sort of their one claim to fame. Fame even? Not claim to fame. That's not a thing that makes sense. Ooh! Check this out. I figured out how to open this. I don't remember how I did it. I was just kind of wandering around the castle testing out the hardware, and I got the door open. It was one of the spells. There was just some stuff in here, just clothes and things. You know how it is. I thought I should mention that because we spent a long time trying to figure that out in one of the earlier streams, and we just did not have the tools necessary to get the job done. But I thought some of you, like, I don't know, Dalton, if that's something you care about, if you were curious, like, geez, I wonder if Reese is ever going to get behind that secret map painting. I did it. I did, in fact, do it. Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, I am running Pop! OS, and it's been mostly fine. It's just, with the 7,000 GPUs, I think we need to be one kernel version higher for full support, and also, I don't know how to install Mesa driver updates. I have no idea how to do that. I'll look it up later. These are all things that I realized before I started the stream might help. You know, I was just doing some Googling about this card and support in Linux. And I was like, yeah, make sure you got 6.3, the 6.3 kernel. Make sure you update your Mesa drivers. And I was like, shh, I know how to update the kernel, but I don't know how. I have no idea how to update Mesa drivers outside of what is shipped with the distro, right? I'm assuming I'm gonna have to add a new repository, and then, I mean, how does that work when Pop! OS updates? Is it gonna install their drivers instead? Do I have to like balance between them? Am I gonna have to manually control these things? I'm still new to all this. Well, I mean, I started using Linux end of 2021, so I'm not that new. But at the time, the hardware I used was all just already supported. You know, it was already a little bit dated back then, because the first computer I installed it on was a 9900K and a 2080 Ti. So pretty established hardware. And then when I updated my gaming computer, at that point it was a 5800X and the 6900 XT. So also pretty well established at the time hardware. This is not cutting edge, you know. I feel like these new AMD GPUs have been out for a little while now, but I guess I'm still just too ahead of the curve. Maybe I should move to like a rolling distro. Maybe I should be... I'm not using Manjaro, never mind.
Hello, Amit. Do I recall you saying that you speak gobbledygook?
I did. I mean, I do. Speak it. Is this to do with the goblin I saw you with in Hogsmeade?
It is. His name is Lodgok. We could use your help with something. He's waiting for me near a goblin mine. Would you be willing to help?
Of course. How exciting. I mean, well, might this be dangerous?
I think he simply wants to show me something that involves gobbledygook. If it helps, he's a friend of Sirona's.
Good to hear. Good to hear. If Sirona trusts him, then I feel much better.
I don't know if y'all could hear any of that, but my cat was just viciously attacking my window for no reason. She was just going ham. There's nothing on the window. Maybe she saw her own reflection? And there she goes. A strange girl. Yeah, listen, how do you know gobbledygook?
You know gobbledygook, but how well?
I've been reading it for as long as I've been reading English. My parents have an extensive library. Once I grew bored with the classics, I devoured goblin writings. I'd tell you some titles, but you wouldn't understand them.
Is he flexing on us right now?
Have you ever spoken directly to a goblin?
Unbelievably, no. I'm so looking forward to it. Actually conversing in gobbledygook with a native speaker. Cannot wait to confirm subtle bits of pronunciation and tone that may have eluded me, being self-taught and all.
Lodgok is waiting. Shall we go?
Of course. I just want to check the pronunciation of a couple of key terms first. So I will meet you there.
My man is about to go research the entire language because he doesn't actually speak it. It's just something he says to impress people. He's going to be coming with one of those pocket dictionaries. You know, like if back in the day when people like traveled abroad, they would have their little pocket like dictionaries, and they would try to form, not dictionaries I should say, but I guess little pocket translators, and they try to form sentences and whatnot. He's going to be doing that. He's like, I totally speak gobbledygook, and then he's going to pull out his book and be like, Guggle de gooba. That's how gobbledygook goes. It's all just words that start with G. Gobbledygooga galgalga goblin. I'm making that up. That can't possibly be true. Have you ever heard gobbledygook spoken? I feel like every goblin in this game has just spoken English up until this point. You know, so it's more convenient for the players. But I assume we're about to hear some high-quality grade A gobbledygook. Been better off with either Mint or Fedora. Much more frequently updated. Is Mint more frequently updated? I mean, I know Mint's just based on Ubuntu. Ubuntu's not necessarily quick on the draw when it comes to updates. Fedora, on the other hand, you probably make a good point. Probably make a good point there. I do have Fedora on a laptop, and I'm a fan of it. It seems to work pretty well. I tend to stick with Pop! OS because it was the first one I tried, so I figured out the sort of syntax in the terminal and going to anything else, I have to take a minute to try to remember. Like, I did have Manjaro on a laptop, and the amount of times I would just, not even thinking about it, zero concentration, type apt into the terminal and go like, no, it's got to be Pac-Man. And the syntax is weird. I can't just tell it what I want it to do. I've got to use a series of weird... Fedora, though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, you know, anything that you can do... that's gobbledygook right there. Words are difficult. I have trouble speaking at times. I'm sure I can just install the updates that need to be installed, and that'll be it. You know? I just have to actually do it. And I didn't do it before the start of the stream. But now that we're outside of the castle, everything looks fine, right? It's a lovely wintry day out. I'm not seeing any massive holes in the geometry. You know, shadows appear to be functioning correctly. We're flying along. The game hasn't crashed yet. I expect the game to crash at some point, because it always crashes. I feel like we have a pretty good running crash per stream at this point. And I don't expect new hardware to change that. Although it'd be great if it did, but I think the game is just kind of maybe not... It's not well made, I think, is the real issue. I've seen a lot of people complain about the poor optimization of the game, and I'm like, yes. But have you tried playing it with Proton? Is that what makes it crash at least once every hour? Or is that just like part of the core gaming experience? I'm not really sure. Maybe that's their way of making sure you don't play the game too much. Maybe the developers are like, man, we've made such a good game. I think people are going to want to play this one a lot. We should build it in to where about once every hour, hour and a half, it just crashes outright, and maybe they lose a bit of progress, and then they'll want to go back outside and do things. That's a brilliant idea. It's kind of like when you were playing the Wii, and Nintendo was constantly telling you, hey, man, I know you're, like, wiggling your hands around and playing bowling and stuff, but why don't you go outside now? You've been playing for like 4 hours. Why don't you go outside and stretch, you know, and see the sun and touch some grass? And you're like, go away, Nintendo! Leave me alone, I'm trying to bowl! Maybe it's like that. Also, doing that voice has caused my eyes to spring a leak. My gosh. You guys ever have things like that you do? Where you'll do a voice? I guess it has something to do with the way you, like, flex certain muscles to get certain sounds out. Also, if you're wondering why I sound stopped up, I'm not sick. I've got a real bad allergy situation right now because a lot of pollen is blowing around in the air, and then also I'm mildly allergic to all of my cats. Now, you might think, geez, Reese, don't you have 4 cats? Isn't that problematic? Yes. Yes, but I pushed through and it's fine. And I'm going to continue to push through, and it's going to continue to be fine. All right?
A friend who speaks
It's okay.
gobbledygook is meeting us. Before he arrives, perhaps you could tell me why we're here?
Of course. Unfortunately, presenting Ranrock with the Helmet of Urtkot did not have the effect I'd hoped. Because he knew the details surrounding its plunder, he presumed I'd had help from a witch or wizard in retrieving it.
How else did he expect Goblinkind to get the helmet back? Seems he has no interest in making amends with you.
I'm afraid we do not have the luxury of rational expectation when it comes to Ranrock. Damn Bragbor and his blasted journals.
Bragbor?
An ancestor of Ranrock's, renowned metal worker. If we are to work together, I suppose I must tell you more. Not long ago, Ranrock sent me to collect a recently unearthed set of Bragbor's journals. They described repositories that Bragbor had been commissioned to build for a group of witches and wizards.
What do you mean, repositories?
Large, magically fortified receptacles crafted from goblin metal. Ranrock recruited others to help me locate the repositories. We were to search anywhere that was connected to 5 names mentioned in the journals.
Ooh!
Fitzgerald, Bakar, Morganach, and Rookwood.
We know those people.
Castle.
That is where we began our search.
Why does Ranrock care so much about these repositories?
He cares about what they contain. For centuries, wizards have refused to share their magical knowledge with goblins. Your kind will not even let us carry wands. Thus, many goblins, myself included, have spent our lives mistrusting wizard kind. Ranrock was convinced that the repositories contained a magical power that wizards wanted to keep for themselves. He is determined to take it for goblin kind. But
Here
he's...
comes my friend Amit. Probably best to continue our conversation later.
Greetings, Lord Gok. It is an honor, sir.
You speak gobbledygook.
We're about to find out.
Oh, Bagalio.
Enough. Please do not tell me that was meant to be gobbledygook.
Did we call that?
Well, yes. Perhaps my pronunciation was a bit off. I imagine certain dialects differ.
Pronunciation is not the issue. I barely recognize that as language. I trust you can read gobbledygook better than you can speak it?
I can, Sir Lord Gok.
Just Lodgok. Thankfully, we only need someone who can decipher written plans, since I cannot join you in the mine.
What written plans? And why can't you come with us?
We need some idea of what Ranrock knows or is plotting. I suspect a careless loyalist may have left plans behind. And I'm unable to join you because I cannot risk anyone reporting my presence to Ranrock. All you need to do is not be seen, either by the eye above the enchanted door or a loitering loyalist.
Tell me more
What
about
else
the
should we know
door.
about the enchanted door?
The door will not open while the eye can see you. You and your friend must be invisible to it to gain access. From what I know of wizard magic, that shouldn't be too difficult to achieve.
Amit and I can do this.
I will await your return.
It's
I shall see you soon.
yes, you shall. It's kind of funny that one of the main things that Harry gets that makes all of his adventures at Hogwarts possible is his cloak of invisibility, which, spoiler alert, is one of the 3 Deathly Hallows. And it's kind of seen as this very special thing. But then in this game, we just have invisibility potions, and then also we can just like turn invisible at the drop of a hat. I know that Dumbledore in the first book literally can cast a disillusionment charm on himself and is kind of like creepily watching Harry as he looks at the mirror of Erised. So, I mean, obviously this has been established in lore as a thing that can happen. It's not that shocking or surprising.
The door is looking at
But
us.
the door is not looking at us. The door cannot see us, sir. We are invisible. And now it feels like we're doing some sort of a Fallout going into this vault here. This is a Vault Tech vault. I've not played a Fallout.
Books so rarely prepare one for reality. A real goblin mine. It's even grander than I had expected.
Sticking. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm. So here's the thing, right? With my Linux distro choice, I picked Pop! OS because when I was looking into switching to Linux, and it is once you get into Linux and you understand how the distros work, it's kind of meaningless, right? Your real choices are: do you want something based on Debian, something based on Arch, something based on like Fedora, Red Hat, that sort of thing, or do you want? I mean, I guess you could go OpenSUSE, but like really, it comes down to those 3. And every other distro on top of that is just like, what things do you want pre-installed? But I went with Pop! OS, and I've not had any problems with it. Literally, this is the only time I've had an issue.
I met a goblin.
And my
Let's just
first
learn what we
instinct
can
is
and
not to
get
just
out.
full out.
Look at this lift. Impressive workmanship for so simple
Give me a
device.
second. My first instinct is not to full on replace the distro. It's just to figure out what packages need to be upgraded. But I do like using different distros. Like I say, I do have Fedora installed on a laptop, and I've enjoyed using that quite a bit. But just check what shell your terminal is using, and make sure to match the terminal shell to the other distro. Yep, that's pretty much the basics of it. Proton is better than wine? Doesn't Proton use wine? Is that not how it works? Like, I understand you can use wine outside of Proton, but I thought that was sort of what... Like, isn't Proton just Valve's, like, implementation of wine? Or am I completely wrong about that? I do appreciate how simple and straightforward Valve has made this. But, there are other options. Lutris, when I played Assassin's Creed on here, I used Lutris because you can't get Uplay Launcher on here. And I guess there's probably a way to get that game into Steam and launch it with Proton. But I just use Lutris and it has an install script to get Assassin's Creed working. It's literally 0 effort, which I thought was really impressive. It's one of those things that I'm sure people had to put a lot of work and effort into figuring out in bygone eras that nowadays we just take for granted because it just kind of works. What am I doing? What does this do? Oh gosh. Is this what we want? Do we want rocks? Presumably we want the rocks, but I don't know what to do with them. I'm actually kind of very confused about what's going on here. Let's have a look around. I keep talking about Linux. Proton is technically separate. Okay, well there you go, everyone. Today is Linux Learning Day, and we're all learning new things.
I've read about mines like this, but seeing one here else altogether.
I'm very confused. What was the purpose of the rocks? Did we miss something back here? Turning that on. Summoned rocks. Oh, bags. Oh. Cool, we got a nice scarf out of the deal. And some money. Is that all that was about? Is that literally the only reason we did that? If I kept pulling down on that... Oh, we can't. Okay. So we just had to pull that down and get some free gear. Okay, well, we can move on then. We don't need to worry about the rocks. I'm not going to waste the rest of my day worrying about the rocks. Clearly... Oh, wait, is he with us? Okay, well... He'll figure it out.
Keep your wits about you, Amit. I'll get you through this mine.
It's probably a good thing, actually, that we left him over there. Because now we're going to have to deal with these guys. Okay. Go kill your friends.
Your service.
Yeah, go kill him. Have fun. Oh, goodness. That was a big hit. Come on, defend yourself. Defend yourself. Do something. Fight. Fight them, I say.
I don't think you know
You're... Come on, like, defend yourself at least. Throw a punch. Swing an axe. Alright, well, that guy was useless. Let's try this guy.
someone there.
Are you kidding me? Okay, he's doing stuff. This one's doing... Okay, we've got a good one now. We must have gotten the pacifist the first time around.
I won't rest until you're...
I was going to say it's going to wear off here in a second. There's only 2 left. Oh, how'd you get back over here? Good on you. I guess he figured it out on all on his own. Is that it?
That was a little more than I'm used to.
I'm sure it was, sir.
Safely, Amit. You have my word.
Now pick up all their stuff. This is what you do after you force them to kill each other. You take all their possessions. I think I've got some gear on right now. We haven't really gone over the gear that I've got on my body. Was that... What button do you push for that? No, that gets us to Owl Post. I actually wanted to go to Inventory, but I also wanted to go to Gear. We have some gear on right now. Let's see. Imperio Target does extra damage, and I think we might have a couple of those on. No, it's just that one. So we do have one that makes the Imperio Target do more damage. If we stacked that a couple more times, we might be in a situation where the guy would actually be able to wipe out all of his friends. I don't know. I would like to figure that out. Hey, GSNL, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so the giant eyeball is staring at us with a load of contempt and anger and frustration. It's very upset about our presence. But if we do that...
Won't get through as long as we can be seen by that eye.
Do we need to be invisible when we activate that switch? Because that's unusual.
About. You'll see.
I really feel like I want to interact with that thing in some way.
Wingardium Leviosa. I should
All right.
use disillusionment. That
No,
eye won't see a thing.
Getting through here isn't the mystery we're trying to solve right now. It's figuring out how to interact with that thing. Because presumably, if we can interact with that thing in some way, we can get more treasure out of this chute here, just based on previous experiences. I guess we can't run up this, can we? Oh, no, we totally can. It's just a situation of, like, you know, to what end? Because it's just kind of blocked off there. My assumption would be that if we could figure out how to get this thing to open... Never mind, then. I don't care that much. I'm not that invested. Smell the coffee, eat the crumpet, start your daily dose of murdering an entire line of hard workers just to talk to a goblin. Listen, these are the bad guys. They're in line with the literal terrorist, right? Like, they're all working together. You know, Gobble, what's his name? Ranrock's not a really good guy. You know, I can't really empathize with his cause when he's going around trying to murder children. There we go. Now we got it. So that's activated. And now the treasures are going to come? Here we go, baby. Or maybe it just lets us run up here now. And we can go grab the treasures ourselves. Or maybe this is actually just the direction we needed to go this whole time to progress. I don't know. I was sort of hoping we would find something. Alright. That was never going to be the spell that worked. And I don't know why I did it. Hold on a second. It's going to be this one. Yeah. That's the fun one. Alright, we're in the same room we were in before, but higher up, and what have we found? 7 gold. And... an unidentified neck item! Nice! Got one of those in high school. Hey-oh! No, I didn't. Alright, let's go this way.
I feel like a character from one of the adventure books I read during the summer holidays.
I'm sure you do, kid. I'm sure you do.
Let's take a look around, Amit. See if we can find any plans.
This looks like
Bound to be
plans.
plans around here. A schematic. They're building something. I can't quite make it out. Curious. Let me know if you see any more plans.
Does it not have a title on it? Does it not say what they're making, like at the top of the instructions? Why did I bring you, if that's the best you can give me? Alright. I suppose we can go... we can either go up or we can go in here. I'm trying to figure out where these guys are relative to... so it looks like they're in that room up there. This must be the kitchen, where they prepare the meals. Okay, there's another upstairs. And then we can also just head down deeper into the mines. Leading to I don't know what. Here we go.
If I'm translating this correctly, and I think that I am, they're building something rather large. But what?
Again,
There must be more notes around here.
does it not
Could
just
they be building?
tell you what it is? I guess it's not like Lego instructions where you can just look at the front page and it's just the set that you're in the process of making. That would probably make it a little bit too easy. But, I mean, they assume that this place is secure, right? So why... maybe it's a situation. Maybe it's a situation where no one is allowed to know what they're building, so everyone just gets bits and pieces of the instructions, and no one's entirely sure. They're building a nuke is what's happening. That's what we're getting at here. Right? Like how no one on the Manhattan Project knew what the Manhattan Project was. Also, where are those goblins? Oh, snap.
I'll be quiet.
Yes, let's both be quiet. Somehow we got away with that. Okay. What direction is he facing? It's kind of hard to tell. I don't... Let's see what happens. We'll just watch this unfold. I don't know if either of them... okay, perfect.
Unforgivable.
And then we should be able to creep up behind and...
Vicus Totalis.
look at that! Without ever being
That's
spotted.
the last loyalist. Unfortunately, really. I'd imagine most goblins to be brilliant and kind.
I'm assuming that that's not the last loyalist. I think that's a bit of a...
Fascinating to see gobbledygook written in a goblin hand. The flourishes are extraordinary.
What does it say?
The bottom of what they've been building down here.
This kid is infuriating. He's way too interested in the fact that there's goblins here to focus on the fact that they're trying to build a nuclear warhead or the Death Star, which is the real issue here. That's why we're here to stop that. They want to blow up the castle. They want to find Alderaan. We're not going to allow it. No, I would say that that is not correct, Dalton. Even if they don't know that they're building the nuclear Death Star, they know that what they're building is to be used to destroy children at the school. I'm assuming. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that no, they still have this coming. All right. Let's see. That guy up there. That's our guy. That's our guy. I think he can kill them from a distance. At some point, we might just have to run in here if there's enough of them and just start fighting properly and not being creepy, sneaky, stealthy boys. That was clearly not our guy, by the way. That was a very poor call. Oh, shoot. I guess they know where I am now. I was hoping we would stay hidden when we did that. That's okay. I think we're in a pretty good spot to have this duel, because at least, like, they can't sneak up on us or get behind us. I don't think they can get behind us. I think there's one literally behind me right now as I'm saying all of this. Oh, yeah, there's like 2 of them in here with us. Okay, yeah, things have gotten a little out of hand.
For me? You won't stop me.
Hello? You failed me. You got what's coming to you. And then can we just Petrificus Totalis this guy again? It feels mean because he's currently like under our spell to serve us. Maybe we're the actual bad guys.
This place is more complex than I had expected.
Yeah, I haven't completely given up the idea that maybe we're the villains. Maybe we like it that way. Bunch of little blue things lying around. Maybe these instructions will tell us what's going on?
What are they going to build? This mine is too small for whatever it is.
See, but that's so cryptic. What does that mean? Let's get that rolling.
Revelio.
We're going to give this place a thorough going over. We're going to leave no stone unturned. No Wiggenweld potion. Well, we actually can't carry any more Wiggenweld potions. I wish that there was a way to expand, but, you know, I feel bad leaving Wiggenweld potions lying around, so I wish we could do something about that, but by that same measure, we do currently have 25 of them. How many more do we need? I think it might be a bit OP if they let you go into, like, some of the harder fights with 100 Wiggenweld potions. It'd be really easy to cheese, like, doing things outside of your level or skill set if you could just keep cramming them down. I mean, I even feel like maybe 25 is too many. And I'm not saying I wish there was fewer, because heaven knows I'm not particularly good at games. So it is nice having a crutch of knowing that I can heal myself almost completely 25 times during any given combat encounter. But still, I do feel like maybe... I guess it's no different than in any like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts game, where you can have hundreds and hundreds of potions per combat encounter. I suppose it's not that big a deal. Also, when I tend to die, it's just because I don't click the button fast enough. So it's not like you're just automatically healed when you have Wiggenweld potions. You have to be mindful of how much health you have, and you have to actually know when to activate them. The game is actually very difficult, and it's impressive how good I am at it. And if you've not played it, you're just gonna have to take my word for it and don't question that. Just accept it and believe it to be true. Alright, well, we're not going to be going any further this direction. We did activate that thing, though, and there is a lever literally right up there for us to control. Now, what is that going to do? Did that open this up? It did. And this is exactly where we need to be. They've got great little blue stones. They've got my favorite type of little blue fungi growing in here. Some Horkalump juice. Tasty stuff. I like to add it to my tea in the morning. Delicious. See what I mean? No one here is ever speaking gobbledygook. Well, I guess they know we're here now. No getting out of this at this point. I know I don't talk during combat encounters, but that's just because I'm, like, super focused. We're having a pretty good run right now. In terms of, like, previous combat encounters we've had, this is probably the smoothest it's gone. Okay, and then that happens.
Easily done. Was that your best?
How many of them are there?
I don't know, is that all of them?
I'll eat.
Not too shabby, I gotta say. I feel like that was probably the least amount of concentration I had to give one of the combat encounters, which is a good thing, because that means that maybe I'm getting better on a subconscious level? Possibly? I feel like I roll too much, though. I gotta stop rolling, because when you block, you can cast spells, or you can cast that one spell, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But there's benefits to blocking, and I tend to just roll more often than not. Alright, so we probably need to light a fire somewhere. Definitely not there. I feel like there's already a fire there. Is there a boiler around here that needs to be lit up? If so, where?
Revelio.
Revelio indeed. Maybe through here? I mean, there's definitely some stuff back here. Can't tell what any of that is, though. It looks like it's mostly just, like, more rocks and more Horkalump juice, which I'm down for, because I love my rocks and Horkalump juice. I just feel like also, though, I mean, we need to be focusing on finding a boiler. Doesn't appear to be one.
Nasty stuff if we're not careful.
Oh, I think we're
Not
passing
an
through
entanglement
Devil's
we need
Snare.
right now.
I'm just, like, tanking it right now. Okay, so this is not Snorkalump pods or whatever. Oh, it's Dittany. We love some Dittany. Cool.
Revelio.
Anything else? So this is just like a random hole in the ground where a little bit of light shines through and there's a tree growing. This is obviously supposed to inspire symbolism of that one DreamWorks movie, Joseph King of Dreams, where he grows a little tree in prison because he got accused of assaulting the Pharaoh's wife or something. I don't know. I don't think it was Pharaoh. It was Potiphar's wife. My mistake. And they must be really big fans of that in The Office, so they just put that in there. This is very clearly inspired by that. This is where we came from before. Is it not? Wait a minute. Isn't it?
Revelio.
Yeah. Well, we did not come into that room through that hole, did we? How did I miss... How did I miss that last time, then? I mean, it's a good thing we went back in here. But that raises a lot of questions. Is this... This is how we entered the room before? Yeah, okay, no, it's coming back to me. Because we came into here, and then I accidentally ran around the corner. Alright, no, yeah, it all makes sense. In that case, what's back here? This is... I was thinking this is where we came in from, but clearly it isn't. Oh, this is just the other side of the blocked-off passageway. And there's no way to get that open, unfortunately. Okay. Well, we're invisible, so we can pass through the door now. And I assume that the furnace we need to light is going to be on the other side by following that pipe there that passes through the wall. Yep, there it is. For some reason, my mouse is inverted. It's not scrolling the direction I would expect it to. fix that real fast. Hey! It is Dake Tora. Dake, are we supposed to call you Jake now? Because that's weird. That throws it off for me. That's a whole different thing. Hold on just a second. I'm
looking
going
at us.
to go into the settings. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I decided to go to a be right back screen for that, but I did. I fixed the scrolling. It goes the way I expected to now, so hopefully that's a situation you won't be worrying about any further. Come here, you. And that's going to... oh, an elevator. Right on. Was there anything in this room, though?
Revelio.
Is this the direction we want to be advancing in? It definitely looks like there's some form of... oh, this is it. This is going to be the instructions. This is going to be like chapter 1 of the Lego instruction booklet. It's going to have a picture on the front telling us
This
exactly
is
what
not
they're
good.
building.
They're building enormous drills, bigger than this mine could contain.
Let's get out of here and tell Lodgok what we found.
It doesn't look that big. I'm just throwing that out there. It doesn't look like that big of a drill. It seems like a perfectly reasonably sized drill. And I'm not all that impressed with it. I was kind of expecting a bit more from them. But that's fair. Whatever. Is this going to be in our elevator out? Man, it's a good thing we didn't decide to just check this out first. That would be deeply unfortunate, wouldn't it?
I need a moment to catch my breath. This was more than I bargained for.
I'm glad
I
you
imagine.
came with me, Amit. Now that we know what they're up to, we can get out of here.
I'm not really sure why Amit is so disturbed by the size of the drill. I just don't feel like a big drill is that, like, scary of a thing. I was expecting a super weapon of some kind to be used on the school to destroy all of the children. And now that I've known that it's just a large drill, I'm not quite as impressed or intimidated by it. It doesn't seem like that big of an issue. I'm kind of over Alohomora. I'm tired of doing it. I don't know how many times I've done it at this point, but I'm a little bit over it. Call me whatever, says Dake Tora. I'm gonna forget Dake Tora though, because I'm not reading it anymore. It's going to eventually fade from my memory, and I'll only know you as Jake from State Farm, or Dake Tora from State Farm. You know what I mean? Like, everything in my life has changed now. It's all been turned upside down by the fact that you've changed your name, which is fine. You know, you're a grown adult. You can do whatever you want to. I'm not gonna be upset about it. I'm just saying that, you know, change is scary. We as humans are creatures of comfort. We like when things are set in a certain way. We like them to be consistent throughout
We're
our
almost out of
lives.
here, Amit. Look, the lift.
And now you've presented me with change. And I don't know what to do with that. We're leaving now. I wasn't murdering innocent workers, Dalton, because the giant drill they were building is going to be used to drill into the school and through children. So we did what we had to do, all things considered.
Can we please talk about what just happened?
That wasn't so bad, was it?
It was. It really was. I'm afraid I've had enough adventure for one day. For a lifetime, perhaps.
It's a drill!
Amit, I couldn't have done it without you. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to have a word with Lodgok.
Understood? I'll leave you to it. Your goblin secrets are safe with me, but I get to write the book about this escapade someday.
Amit's very
Without
scared of
further ado,
drills.
Achoo.
He must have had like a horrible drilling incident as a child that he did. Well, all right, Lodgok, let's talk about this situation. I think that they want to burrow into the castle and steal the children. We know that they want to kill kids because they want to kill me.
They're building enormous drills. We found their plans. Ranrock must be searching for the repositories.
I fear you are correct. Other than Rookwood Castle, however, I do not know where else he plans to search.
I've been wondering about something else you said before we entered the mine.
Yes?
If you share Ranrock's views, then why are you helping me?
I expected Rookwood Castle to be deserted when I arrived to begin my search. So was surprised to find a witch there who had set up a sort of improvised research site. She was studying something so intently that she almost didn't notice me. When she looked up, I thought she would react with fear or disdain. But instead she did something that I will never forget. Without a moment's hesitation, she smiled and asked me to sit with her. She told me that she was a researcher and showed me a small, oddly shaped container with a strange symbol on it.
It was a
She
heart.
was certain it was made of goblin metal.
That
but
day I
was
learned how
unable
to
open
love.
it. She wanted to work together.
Miriam.
Yes. But how did you...
Professor Fig's wife. He told me of her research, and I know of the container.
The reverence with which she talked of goblins and their intelligence and skill, it caught me entirely off guard. I'd never been treated with such respect by a witch or wizard. So, to my surprise, I let her study the container if she would allow me to search the castle on my own. We parted ways, with her promising to share what she'd learned. More of Ranrock's recruits arrived, and we began to dig, eventually locating the first repository. Ranrock was thrilled with our discovery, but furious when I told him about Miriam. Berated me for trusting a witch, and I heard she'd been killed.
You think Ranrock murdered her?
I don't want to believe it, but I don't know. After that, something shifted in me. I had seen how the power from the repositories was transforming Ranrock, transforming all of them. I could no longer remain a part of it.
Thank you, Lodgok, for telling me this.
I tell you all of this so that you understand what is at stake. Ranrock never found all of Bragbor's journals, but the ones he did find suggest that Bragbor at some point built a repository far greater in size than the one beneath Rookwood Castle. What you've discovered here today worries me deeply. If Ranrock learns of the location of that repository, I fear we shall be destined for a great war. I will find out what Ranrock knows. Watch for my owl.
Well, that was actually a bit of a harrowing story he just told us. Captivating storytelling they do in this game. That's much better. Thank you so much, Jake Yates dash Dake Tora. Thank you so much.
I believe my next broom upgrade to be even more.
You don't have to do that. It's fine. We can just go with Jake.
As soon as you can.
We can just go with Jake. It'll be fine. And well, maybe I should start. I used to keep notes on the people who watched my streams most. Not like creepy stalker notes, but just like, you know, if someone's... I wanted to be able to associate, like remember certain people and remember certain details so that we could carry on conversations like in future streams. So I used to keep these tiny little notes, and I would keep track of things like name changes. So if someone changed their username and came in like, hey, you used to know me, I was this name, and I'd change the name, and I'd be like, yes, of course, how was your cat, right? Like I would just try to keep those little details so that we could have these like flowing conversations stream to stream to stream. And I kind of stopped doing that, but I feel like maybe I should go ahead and start doing that again. Let me get my phone out here. Or I guess I should probably actually do it on my computer. I could just go ahead and install, probably just install Obsidian Notes on here. Yeah, in fact, I'll do that. I'll do it later. I need to start keeping track of things again like that. But I appreciate your willingness to do a full name change for me there. Jacob Yates Datora. It's so kind of you. All right, let's hit journal for just wondering what we're going to do next and see what our options are. So the sky's the limit. Oh my gosh, purchase a broom upgrade. Oh man, we've been waiting for a broom upgrade for so long. We're going to go ahead and fly there just to get a feel for how slow our broom is currently and then a feel for how fast it is after we get the upgrade. I think there should be 2 upgrades left, if I'm not mistaken, because isn't there something in the neighborhood of 4 different like obstacle courses we can run on our brooms? And so I'm assuming after each one we get another upgrade. And we've been waiting on this one for a while. So I feel like we actually do have pretty good speed right now with our current broom. So if it goes any faster, it gets any better handling. It's going to be really, really fun. Looking forward to that. Just started listening. Okay, so you're listening your... Oh, hold on. I don't know if that was the first one. There might have been one further back that we're now missing. I do think that they come in groups of 5, though, so... Nah. Looks like that was all of them. Nice. I try to get the balloons when I see them. So you're listening your way through the Harry Potter audiobooks for the first time. First off, Datora, I mean, I have a ton of questions. Jacob Tora. I have a ton of questions for you regarding this, but we're going to start off at the top. Who is reading the books? Did you go with Stephen Fry, or did you go with... Is it Jim Dale, I think is the other one? Which one did you go with? I'm not going to judge you one way or the other. I definitely have a preferred audiobook reader, but I think the books are good enough that, and honestly, they're both pretty decent at their job, so it's not like you're getting a horrible experience one way or the other. Was that the Hogwarts Express? Where's it going? School's not out yet. Or we could be in the middle of winter break. I don't know. It feels like all the students are still at the castle. So I feel like that's probably not the case. But once I get that answer, I have more questions for you regarding Harry Potter and your experience with the lore thus far. But I've got to know who's reading them first. I've been thinking about re-listening to those as well. I read through the whole series once, and then I started listening to the audiobooks. And I think probably once every couple of years since I listened to them. Sometimes more than that. You know what's funny is I remember listening to them when I played through certain games, and I remember what I was listening to, like what part of the book I was at during like certain parts of the playthrough. So if I re-listen to them now, for instance, I was playing through Assassin's Creed Syndicate while listening through the 7th audiobook, and when I get to that part in the audiobook, I can remember what I was doing in the game the last time I listened to it. And I can do that too with like Red Letter Media. I remember watching certain episodes of their series Best of the Worst, and I can remember what I was doing in Assassin's Creed Odyssey the first time I like watched that video. So if I rewatch it, it like immediately takes me back to that moment where I was crawling around on a rooftop trying to assassinate guys. I'm like, oh my gosh! So you went with Jim Dale. So I've never listened to the Jim Dale one. I went Stephen Fry.
Hello again. Wonderful to
so
see
I
you.
mean, obviously.
I've arranged a special price
Oh, good.
broom upgrade for you.
Look at this. His entire outfit is black now. That is wonderful. That is somewhat cursed. I hate it. I regret it. This is where we're at, though. We're just going to live with it. Okay. So what does this upgrade 2 do? An enchantment that significantly increases your broom's acceleration and speed. I'm sorry. Significantly. Okay.
You'll be thrilled with that broom. I promise you.
I'm sure I will be. He looks like a priest.
You're all set with the new upgrade. I can't
like a
wait
vicar.
to hear what you think. This may sound presumptuous, but
You'd like me to report back with even more flight details.
you know me well. I feel I'm almost there. I just think I can improve broom flight a bit more. Miss Ray's is running a time trial at the South Coast course. Not ideal, really, what with rumours of Ranrock's lot and Ashwinders infiltrating the place. However, if you're flying high above them, you should be all right, I think.
I'm not worried, Mr. Weeks. I'll see if I can find Imelda.
I hope you are able to complete these trials. I have a feeling this final upgrade is going to be a sweeping success. Do be careful, of course. I shall look forward to hearing from you soon.
This man and his puns.
I look forward to our next meeting.
Audible is very convenient. I don't think you've done wrong. I'm sure. I know that the Carlin brothers of Super Carlin Brothers
Test out when
fame,
you upgrade on
they
the way.
primarily listen to the Jim Dale ones, and they reference them pretty often. So I think you're probably in good hands with Jim Dale. But, what was I going to say? Oh, okay, so this is your first time, like, listening to or reading through the books, however you want to look at it. Have you seen the movies, though? Like,
I think I know how and where to approach the centaurs about protecting the Snidgets. Meet me in the Forbidden Forest.
Oh my goodness, we're about to get, like, a
We
flood
should speak
of...
with Mr.
yeah.
Bickle's friends. I believe I can sneak away without drawing my mother's eye. Meet me near Hogsmeade, and we will devise a plan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, who's next? That's it. Okay, let's have a look at our quests then. What I was going to say is, what is your experience with Harry Potter thus far? And then we'll kind of go from there. So speak with Imelda Reyes. We'll definitely go ahead and do that. And then meet Poppy at the Forbidden Forest and speak with Natty outside of Hogsmeade. At some point, we're going to get another quest with our Slytherin-minded friend who's going to teach us how to hopefully do Avada Kedavra. I've got to be honest with you. It doesn't feel significantly faster. I was told this was going to be a significant speed upgrade. It just doesn't quite feel like that to me. Does it look like that on camera? Let me know. Does it feel like we're really zooming with the best of them right now? It kind of feels the same. It kind of feels like it hasn't changed at all. Am I supposed to be like... Am I supposed to be applying these things to the broom? I can't... It just has broom upgrades. We've got 2 of them so far. That's it. Okay, alright. Hold on. Let's pop some balloons while we're in the area. While we've got the opportunity, we might as well. I feel like if you're going to claim it's a significant upgrade, you know what I mean? Like, it should probably feel like it's been significantly upgraded. Maybe we should have done a time trial. Like, seeing how long it took to go 1,000 meters with the first upgrade and then with the second. Maybe we should have, like, timed it and found out that it's actually 0.7 seconds faster now. And now we have no way of knowing. I mean, I still like to travel by broom. It's kind of relaxing. I like it a little bit better than a fast travel. It helps you kind of get a lay of the land better than a fast travel as well, because you kind of have
dangerous
to
if I'm not careful.
observe the territory you're traveling through a little bit more closely. Where are we going? I didn't even actually catch how far south this was. Is this in an area of the map we've not gone to before? Because there is like a barrier we've not passed yet. So if you look at the map, I've explored almost everything there is to do. Although it's weird that there's a Merlin trial I've not done. Because I thought for sure I knocked all of those out a long time ago. That's odd. Yeah, I've not gone past here, and I'm not really sure how to get down here, because I found that you can't really fly over. This is where we're going, though. This is, like, way the heck down there. So we're going to have to figure out how to get through this gap here, if we're going to figure this out. So you've watched the movies, you've seen everything the Super Carlin Brothers have had to say. Okay, alright. Well, let me ask you this. How are you liking it so far? Because I think we talked about this in an earlier stream, but my experience with Harry Potter was I didn't grow up with it. One day, I think sick in bed I must have been, or maybe doing math homework in bed. You know, just hashtag homeschool things. I just watched all the movies all the way up to the second to last. Well, okay, so at that point, 7 and 8 weren't out yet, so I watched all the way up to Half-Blood Prince. And then I was like, these are fun, I'm going to read the books. And then I just tore through the books in absolutely no time. Is this... Where am I right now? It's a little bit further. I thought they were really good, and I enjoyed them. And then I went and saw the very last movie in theaters, and that's the only one I saw in theaters, with the exception of Fantastical Critters and How to Get Your Hands on Them. So you can see on the mini-map up there, there's a very defined barrier that we can't fly over. So I think if we want to go through, we'll have to go through here? But this is like goblin-infested territory?
Ah, but if you don't fill up so much, you can actually go further. It's true.
Oh. Can't enter while mounted. Maybe we're not supposed to be here yet. Maybe this is like, oh shoot, that's not at all what I intended to do. Okay.
Revelio. Lumos.
Is this like just an underground fortress, or is this how we get through? How did Imelda get through here? Imelda Reyes got through here just fine. She set up shop through here. I feel like this is like story-related stuff.
Are you quite finished?
Wow!
You've
Did we just one-shot that guy?
Ranrock.
Maybe we shouldn't worry about being stealthy then. Maybe we should just run through here.
Imperio.
Rather unwise.
We're going to creep our way through these mines. We're going to kill all the goblins we see along the way. And whatever happens, happens. That's kind of where we're at right now. Can we activate this thing? What is this?
This looks intriguing.
It does look intriguing. You're not wrong. Ranrock will lead us to victory, he says, but I'm like nowhere near him right now.
Lumos.
We're just in a cave right now. We've assigned ourselves an adventure. We don't need the game to tell us what to do, gosh darn it. We're figuring it out. Okay, we're not going that way, that's for sure. We are getting whatever's inside of this chest, though. Game of Thrones is a hard audiobook. It's just 40 hours. You know, I don't know. The Harry Potter audiobooks do get very long. The first 3, especially the third one, is like brisk. You get through those, and then you get to the 4th one, and suddenly it's like J.K. Rowling realized, you know, I can make these as long as I want to. No one's going to tell me not to. I can get away with anything at this point. And she wasn't wrong. Gosh, they're long. I think if 4 is not the longest, I want to say 5 is, isn't it? I might be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure that 5 is the longest audiobook, or the longest book, I should say, not just audiobook.
Revelio.
But then I feel like the 7th one kind of drags a little bit. I like the 7th book. Don't get me wrong; it's one of my favorites. But it kind of has a much slower pace, I feel like, than all of the preceding ones. Still a great read, and it goes crazy places. It's a fun time. I have listened to the Game of Thrones audiobooks before. My problem with those is not necessarily their length, it's that the way that they are written, they don't follow your traditional formatting. What spell do I need to use? Nope. There we go. It looked like he had a purple, like a blue shield. Sorry, I got distracted there. Because of how they jump around so much, those like the Song of Ice and Fire books, to so many different places, and sometimes they don't actually tell you who the chapter is about. You have to just kind of figure it out. And if you're like me and you tend to, when listening to audiobooks, zone out just a wee bit and not pay the most amount of attention throughout the entire run of the thing, you're going to find yourself reversing and listening to like get context for where you're at. They're fine, don't get me wrong. They're enjoyable, but you actually have to be paying attention to them. Well, which, I mean, I guess maybe that is because I don't really feel like I ever lose focus listening to any other audiobook. I don't know. Give me about 30 minutes to form my thoughts, and I'll come back to you with how I actually feel on that. Where am I? What is this? It's like an endless abyss. Stand up. I got no idea what any of this is all about. I feel like we definitely shouldn't be here right now. We're definitely not supposed to be in this area.
Lumos.
I remember growing up, and my mom was reading the books. Hardcover with plastic book sleeves, the classic. She had just finished cooking dinner, and was cleaning up, and wanted to read her book right after. That's a fun little memory of your past. I gotta listen. I'll admit, the first time I read that through, I thought what you were saying was when you were little, your mom read you the books. And I was gonna say, I don't know about that. that feels maybe not quite child appropriate. Oh no! Oh wait, are you talking about... Okay, so you melted the book cover. What series are you talking about right now? Maybe I'm a bit confused. I thought you were talking about Game of Thrones, or like the Song of Ice and Fire books. What was your mom reading? Okay, yeah, we can't carry any more Wiggenweld potions. Let's get out of here. Yeah, no, for a second I read that and I thought you were trying to say that your mom was reading you the Song of Ice and Fire books. And then I realized that no, she was reading them herself. And now you said you melted Order, like Order of the Phoenix. So maybe what was actually happening was she was reading Harry Potter. I'm confused on the story right now, Jake Tora. I'm very confused. I need you to straighten my brain out for me here, because I actually feel myself. It's coming out of my ears now. My brain is melting. It's that bad. That's the situation that we're in right now. Also, we made it through, everyone. I don't know how Romilda got over here. Not Romilda, Imilda. Presumably, she just flew over the mountain. Okay, yeah, the Harry Potter books. It all makes sense now. Everything's been cleared up. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Let's get on a broom. And let's go pop some balloons. And now we have a whole new area of the map to explore, which is fun. Again, I'm going to have to ask all of the other students I inevitably find over here whether or not they just flew over the mountain and why we can't do that, or whether or not they also went through goblin-infested cave. Also, why is the cave infested by goblins, and why have no wizards put a stop to that? It seems like it's a bit of an important pathway, is it not? Like, how else, if you're a wizard, how else do you get down here to these southern lands, if not going through the mountain? Can I fly over the mountain now that I've cleared out the mountain? Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they've gotten rid of the barrier. Maybe it literally was just for story reasons.
Ah, but if the air is cool, it always takes longer.
Is that you, Royland?
Oh, this is interesting. Hold on, I found another batch of these. I want to go ahead and pop. If you will all indulge me a moment. I have a feeling you're intended to go through them the other direction, and it looks like it would be a really cool route to follow. But we're going to go up. If you're wondering why we pop these... Hey! It's because it's part of the challenges we have for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what these are. Oh, these are weird. Is this like a home Quidditch pitch or something? It kind of feels like it. This is very odd. They've got like the 3 goals and everything.
I should investigate.
They're at wrong heights. No, we shouldn't investigate. You're wrong about that. We should just kind of fly around and have fun. Not take anything too seriously at the moment. This is an interesting new territory. It is somewhat distinct from everything we've been exploring around Hogwarts. It's kind of hard to tell because it's nighttime and it's dark out. But, she would never read Game of Thrones. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing a mom would be interested in. Like, not a classical mom from back in the elder days. Maybe like a modern mom, like a young mom in her like 20s or something. You know, she's hip and with it. She wants to keep up with what's going on in the world. So she watches the Game of Thrones or reads it. You know, she stays on top of things. She's a big fan of that Tyrion Lannister. He just says the darndest thing. He just says what's on his mind, and that's she's putting that on our Facebook page. Little Tyrion Lannister quotes on top of minions on Facebook. As moms are known to do. I would love that. Not that I would see it. I don't have a Facebook. But in concept, conceptually, I'm a fan of it. I do see more balloons as well at this location that we're approaching. Are we going to detour to pop the balloons? It's possible. It's possible that we might. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming we have to fly. Do we pop balloons as part of the trial? I can't remember. Or do we fly through hoops? We might fly through hoops. It's been so long since we've done one of these that I don't quite recall. Let's see if we can find the beginning of the balloons, and we'll go ahead and pop those now. We'll get those out of the way. And then I won't be like thinking about them and feeling distracted about them the whole time. It looks like this might be where the balloons start, or where they end, one of the two. I don't really know if it matters where you start or end it. And it's not like they're timed or anything, so we can take as much time as we need to go through. But it does feel more satisfying when you get them all going quick. Like if you get them all on a quick pass, and you don't miss any of them. Definitely does make you feel like you're a master of the room. That's a cool little place up there. Plenty to explore around here. Okay, well, there we go. There it is. The ultimate embarrassment. 7 of 15. I don't think that's 7 of 15 balloons popped, though. Isn't that like 7 of 15
The course looks rather deserted.
collections?
I hope everything's all right.
Presumably everything's fine.
Hello again, Imelda. This course is a bit far from the castle, isn't it?
Obviously. Evidently too far for most of our classmates. Pathetic. They should be begging me to keep these trials alive, not running scared. I'm surprised our new 5th year showed up. I suppose I appreciate the effort.
That's actually... thank you.
I know I can be impatient, but I get frustrated by those who don't take things as seriously as I do. And in my experience, that's everyone. Anyway, don't let it go to your head. Right then, enough chatter. I'm confident I've posted a time you won't be able to beat.
We'll soon see how I fare, won't we? I'm ready.
Get ready to lose, Gryffindor.
Why does she have this attitude about her? Get ready to lose, Gryffindor. There's rings. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so what it is you have the big rings you fly through.
Too difficult.
And then you have the little rings that give you a speed boost. And then you're supposed to hold down the button. And if you hit the rings... Who's this kid? Oh, golly! Oh, boy! The problem is there's no brakes, right? I mean, I guess you can stop, like, on a dime. If it comes down to it. Oh, look, balloons. More balloons to pop. I think we're doing all right. It's a long course, though. So we're about a third of the way through it now. The music for these is just excellent, by the way. I mean, the music in the game is fine. It's pretty good. But when you're going through the rings, this sounds like music that would be in the movies. This is like John Williams' score to your music right now.
Brilliant flying, if I do say so myself.
I like doing this at night where I can barely see any of the surrounding countryside. So I'm not even really getting a good feel for what's around this in the territory. Again, it's just ultimate concentration right now. Yeah, we're not making it under that bridge. We're not even going to try. That would just be a disaster. think we're gonna actually finish this one up with plenty of time to spare. I'm saying that very boldly. Oh, look at this.
Excellent.
With almost a full 20 seconds to spare. Look at that.
Good. I've got this.
No rings missed. Perfection. Hello?
That was quite something.
Impressive work today, but don't get too comfortable. I'll be on your heels in no time. My family's not going to believe the news when I tell them. They're almost as competitive as I am. Almost.
Do you get your competitiveness from your family?
You could say that. My grandfather played Quidditch for Puddlemere United. And my father, well, he was a chaser for Slytherin, but had to stop after a curse took his knees out. Said it was the Gryffindor beater. And me...
What,
I
permanently?
fell in love with flying the first time I saw the ground disappear beneath my feet. Something about the freedom you feel on a broom. I've not been able to stop since.
Will you keep running these courses?
I'll race them myself. Don't want to get rusty. But I won't be dealing with time trials. You're welcome to run them too. Anyway, hope we find time to fly again soon.
I take it you want to play for a team, but which one? And which position?
I'm my father's girl. A chaser through and through. You'd know that if Black hadn't cancelled Quidditch this year. As for a team, it's the Holyhead Harpies I've always dreamt of. When I'm finished with school, I'll try out. If for some reason I don't get accepted, I don't know what I'll do. Herbology, perhaps? Because if that did happen, you might as well pop me and call me a mandrake. I'd never stop screaming.
It's been fun competing against your records, Imelda.
It has been fun. Glad you're here. 5th year. Not bad. For a Gryffindor.
Just gotta put all those
You
little
take
like
care of
caveats
yourself.
in there. Can't just congratulate me and say that you like me and maybe even love me. You
I
just
should
have to
let
keep
Mr.
adding
Weeks
all
know
of
that
these
this was his best upgrade
qualifiers.
yet.
My gosh. Well, that was a lot of fun. So let's head over to Albie Weeks, and we'll let him know how it went. We'll see if we can fly over the mountain as well. And I was reading your comments, and yes, there are some peculiar changes from book to movie when it comes to the first Song of Ice and Fire book, and I guess the rest of the series in general. I think they actually made a couple of things like more uncomfortable and a bit skeevier in the movie or in the show than they were in the books. I don't know. I've got to be honest, I'm not a super big fan of either. They're too dour. They're too dreary and sad. I like happy and hopeful things, and things full of joy and happiness and energy. And you don't get that out of those books at all. They're all so just miserable and sad. And do you like this character? Well, they're gonna die now. Sorry. Life is just misery, I guess. Yeah, no, we can't fly through here still. Okay, in that case. I mean, I really don't have any interest in... Is there no way around? What about going the long way around, over here where the water is? Can I do that? I guess we can find out. Never occurred to me to even attempt that. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I think I just did it too. So that's it. Then when I tried to fly over before... Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. I want to have a look at the map here. Okay, to be fair, I've not... Where am I? Where I'm there. I've done it. I did it. It's done, right? Wait, no, we're nowhere close. It's like way up here. Okay, so never mind. Never mind. I'm very dumb. Okay, we're going to find out when we get a little bit closer then. Listen, I'm not good with directions in the dark, all right? I just got a little bit turned around and confused on where I was. This happens to people all the time, all right? Have you ever heard of the missing 411? People go missing in the parks all the time. They just wander off and get taken by bear people because they got turned around. It's perfectly normal and natural. It's happened to me now. There was no bear person involved. There could have been a bear person involved if I had not checked the map and got back on the correct path. You never know. This is the magical world after all. There's probably definitely Sasquatch wandering around. Actually, yeah, is Bigfoot canon in the world of Harry Potter? These are the questions we actually need answered, J.K. Rowling. I don't need to know which students were actually Jewish all along, or who was gay. I need to know whether or not Bigfoot is canonically in the world of Harry Potter. Alright, so we've reached the actual barrier now. No, we have not. Gotta go this way. I'm assuming it's not going to change. I'm assuming it's going to require that I pass through the underground again, which returns me to my question once more. How did Emilda do it? It's ridiculous. They should get rid of the barrier and let you pass through. If you've made it through the first time, right? Like, there's no reason to just not allow you to fly over, as far as I can tell. So this is it. This is actually canonically it. That's how we got in before. And stop it. There's a fast travel point over here that apparently we didn't activate. But where is it? Is it like down below here? Where is it? I'm looking at the mini-map. It says it's like right around in here. Why would there be a fast travel point like way down here though? Oh my gosh, it is.
Rather dark in there. Never stopped me before.
What is this? Okay. Do we want to figure out what this is now? Tomb of Treachery? We'll come back for that. That's we'll do the Tomb of Treachery later. I'm bad at games. You've been looking into Missing 411, eh? You've been watching some Mr. Ballin content by chance? You've been watching some Mystery Lodge? Is that what it's called? Let me get that name right. Hold on. Lore Lodge. Yeah, you've been watching some Lore Lodge content? Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and fast travel. I've been watching some Windigoon content. I'm just trying to think of creators now. I want to get the right one. A basis for blackmail. Okay, so that's gonna be Natty's quest. Let's go to Hogsmeade first, and then I have a surprise for you folks. I've got a little treat for those of you who've been with like the Howdy Folks brand for a long time, who maybe attended previous live streams when we played through things like, I mean, back in the day, I'm talking 2018, I streamed through all the different Zeldas.
It seems all roads
and
lead to Hogsmeade.
Streamed through all the Kingdom Hearts, and there was a thing we did during our weekend streams that some of you may remember if you've been with Howdy Folks long enough.
Test flyer?
Let's talk with Albie first, whose clothes have thankfully disappeared. Oh.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
Return to Albie Weeks.
Hello again, Mr. Weeks. I set a new record at the South Course.
Fantastic! Your broom performed well then?
The best upgrade yet. It flew beautifully, incredibly nimble. But with the speeds it now reaches, I can feel the wind catching beneath the seat a bit, preventing it from reaching its full potential.
Of course! Should have anticipated that. Exactly the kind of report I've come to expect from you. At last, I think I know what needs to be done for my final upgrade.
What will you do after the final upgrade is complete?
I aim to make Spintwitches the most sought-after shop in Hogsmeade. And I wouldn't mind getting back on a broom myself, just for the thrill of it. Couldn't be more pleased we made headway with the upgrades, proved the naysayers wrong, made all the hard work worth it.
I shall look forward to speaking again.
I'll be sure to send you an owl when I'm finished. Thank you again for your help.
No, sir, thank you. Hopefully the next upgrade will be actually genuinely good and noticeable. I see that we're all talking about Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin's a great storyteller.
Mr. Weeks and I do make a good team.
South is, I think, the direction we want to go to meet up with Natty. Isn't she, like, just south of town? Is what it looked like on the map. So let's go ahead and hit J for just curious about what our next objective is going to be. And we're going to go with a basis for blackmail. I don't know if this is actually going to trigger a quest or a conversation, but before we go do it, I want to have a moment. We're gonna go back in time now, folks, because inside of this bag, I have something some of you may remember. My face is too big for this. I don't like it. We used to do this thing during live streams where I would go to the local donut shop, and then during the stream, I think once every hour, I would just have a donut. And we called them donut streams. And I would review the donut. And I thought, hey, that's a fun thing that some folks might remember. I don't. Were any of you there for that? Dictor, I feel like you were there for that. And Gilliam, if you're in the chat, I know for sure you were. Rondo would have been around for sure. Remember Gundam Guy? I never did play a Gundam game. Gundam Guy really wanted me to. I need to get around to that someday. For Gundam Guy, we'll do it. And of course the kits were there, Haley and Lucas. I'm just gonna go ahead and eat this donut now. So, I don't really. I'm gonna look at the full screen image, the full screen preview, and I'm gonna see what this looks like. Because I'm not really comfortable with you being this close to my face and watching me eat. But here we go. Ah. That's a good donut. That's a good one. I'm a big fan of your normal glazed donut. So, you know, if given the choice between this and a regular glaze, probably gonna go regular glaze. That's good though. Now, back in the day, I would eat the whole donut. And over a course of a stream, I would eat like 6 donuts. I can't do that anymore. I'm 30. And that's going to hurt my tummy. And it's all going to go straight to my hips. So, I took 2 bites. You definitely get most of the flavor of the glaze. I would prefer a normal glaze. But what I will say about that one is the little bit of extra icing on top to hold in the sprinkles. Maybe a little bit too sweet. Too much sugar. I think it takes it from being like a good glazed donut has just the right balance of like the savory dough and the sweetness of the glaze, and that's probably a bit too much sugar. But what it adds with the sprinkles is a bit of texture that you don't normally get in a donut. I'm not saying it's better than a regular donut, but it's different. It shakes it up. If you're gonna have like 6 donuts, you might want to have just one of those right in the middle to add that contrast. So on the donut rating scale, with a normal glaze being a 10 out of 10, because nothing can be as good as that. Nothing can beat a normal glaze. I'm going to rate that a solid... I'm going to go 6 out of 10. I'm going to go 6 out of 10 because maybe we should make... It's not bad. You know, anything below 5 I feel like would be kind of in a negative territory. I feel like it's just above that, though, because of that little bit of extra texture. I think if you could have the texture without that added sugar, like too much sweetness right at the top, it would probably get it into a 7 or 8, but it's just too much sugar. It's just a little bit overpowering. So that's bringing it down to about a 6. So that's my ranking for that donut. There you go, everyone. Classic donut stream. I know you all remember and love those. And there you go. Yeah, well, I'm bad at games. Guess what? You've now experienced a donut stream. Hopefully it was everything you hoped for. And it lived up to the expectations. And yes, I turned 30 here recently. Thought I was closer to 25 to 28. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I'm that way. But no, I have recently turned 30. I am old now. It is the deepest tragedy. But I also don't feel like I've changed since I was 24. Which is when I started streaming, I think. Yeah, 2017 was when we started doing the Breath of the Wild streams. And then that was 2017. And then from there we went through the other Zelda games. And then we went through Skyrim. I want to say that was early 2018. And then we did all of the Kingdom Hearts games, 2018, 2019. 2019 we streamed our way through Jedi Survivor. Looking forward to the new one coming out. Probably going to stream through that one too. We also streamed through The Outer Worlds, which I'd love to go through again. That's a great game. I've already played through it completely twice. It's a fantastic game. 2020, at the beginning of 2020, we did Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then I quit YouTube. And then since I've come back, what have we streamed through? Well, we streamed through Final Fantasy VII Remake again, because that was great. And Final Fantasy Crisis Core, now we're doing this. And it all kind of runs together. Oh, we can always go back on Bad at Games and rewatch those streams if you want. They were... I oftentimes, my most successful, I guess, period in terms of viewership on YouTube would have been the 2016 era, 2015 to 2016, doing the Tekkit Legends series. In terms of raw viewership, that is when we were at our most successful. But for me, the golden age of YouTube, and the time period that I look back on with the most fondness, was definitely going in 2017, 2018, 2019. Like that period of time, kind of starting with streaming through Breath of the Wild and going into the Zelda games, and then in particular the Kingdom Hearts games. I look back on getting home from work every day and looking forward to doing nothing more than just streaming my way through a Kingdom Hearts game. Like, that was my most fond period of content creation. And that was great. And there was like this fun little core group of people who tuned into like every stream every night. It was a great time. It was so much fun. So that was such a good experience. I look forward. I look back on that so positively. I think my first stream I actually caught live was an Elder Scrolls game, the older one. Yeah, I streamed through a little bit of Morrowind, and I wanted to stream through a little bit more, but I had trouble. If I feel like I'm having trouble keeping a video moving forward, I tend to stop streaming it. And the problem with Morrowind is it kind of leaves you to figure out a lot, which I like. I loved the concept of like listening to a podcast or something while playing through Morrowind and just figuring things out on my own in my own time. But the issue with streaming it is that there's a pressure to be like, well, I don't know what to do. And I'm not figuring it out anytime soon. And I'm just standing in a swamp and I'm stammering and mumbling and Googling things. And it's hard to get over that mindset of like, I got to keep it going. I got to figure this out because people are watching and I got to know what I'm doing and I got to get us somewhere. I got to take us someplace. No, it's hard to escape that mindset. Hopefully someday I will. But Morrowind is probably a game I'll end up going back to and just playing in my own time. As much fun as it was. Your favorite series was Satisfactory? I want to get back into Satisfactory. Maybe we should stream that. That is a game where you spend a lot of time just calculating things. With just a calculator open going, be like, okay, I'm getting 60 of those per minute times 4 machines divided by 3 machines they're going to be processing at time. So I don't know. That would be a great game for like breaking my brain in terms of what I think a person should be doing during a live stream. I'd love to go back to that. I never intended to stop playing that game. That happened to be one that I was going through at the time when I quit YouTube. And I just never picked it back up. And I know a lot's been changed and added since then. So I feel like I might want to restart from the beginning. But then there's like a whole bunch of new stuff to learn. So I don't know. I've been keeping up with the updates. I know there's a lot of really useful things in there. Like universal alignment. So if you build 2 buildings really far away from each other, you can align them to like this universal grid so that when you eventually combine the buildings together, the parts aren't just slightly off like kilter, which was always very frustrating. When you'd bring 2 things together and you'd realize, this is like that, and then this piece you're bringing over, like this road you're building, is coming at it from this angle, and you're like, no! How? And then what do? You can't just build like a wedge to fill in the space. It was always frustrating. But I saw a developer diary where apparently they fixed that and they've got universal snapping now. So I'm like, okay, I want to start over and I want to pave the entire world in blocks. It's going to be fun. We're going to build roads everywhere. We're going to pave everything.
By what we've accomplished, the final broom upgrade is better than even I expected. Stop by Spintwitches when you can.
Okay, Albie, absolutely. See, the benefits of just standing around and talking for a long time, or sometimes the game just decides to give you something new. Is this Albie's? Albie,
hello
buddy.
again. Couldn't have perfected the broom upgrades without your help.
Does he have his actual clothes on now?
Special price for you.
When we talk to him, he's going to be in
What are we
complete
looking
pitch
for
black.
today?
Oh, look, he's got his clothes. Look at him. What a guy. An enchantment that increases your broom's acceleration and speed to the fullest extent.
I truly enjoyed working with you. Thank you for believing in me.
Thank you, sir. You've been wonderful. I appreciate all the stuff you've given me.
Hope to see you again.
You won't. I'm never coming back. I have no reason to. I got everything I wanted from you. Cool. How about that? Yeah, trains. Trains are a thing now. I mean, they were a thing when I was playing as well, but I don't think they were, like, fully a thing to the extent that they are. Towards the end of this series, I know there was a bunch of train stuff added, and we never really kind of got fully into it. Oh, my gear slots are all full. Oh, dear. I should probably go sell some of that, then. Well, let's have a look. Before we go talk to Natty, let's go ahead and have a look at what we're wearing and sort of what we've got, and figure out if we've got anything better than what we're currently using. And then if not, we can go sell it? Yeah, we can go sell some gloves. Why don't we go back? I know I just said I would never see him again, but why don't we go back? Oh, actually, whose shop is this? Is this the Potioneer?
Just let me know if there's something in particular.
No. Okay, yeah, it's you. I would like to sell you some gloves that I'm not needing right now. So why don't you take these? And in fact, I'll just go ahead and sell you everything that I'm never going to wear because it's too low a level, even. We do have some stuff that's like a higher level than we currently are, but like level 33, but it's worse than what we currently have, so why wouldn't I just go ahead and sell it, you know what I mean? Anything that's unidentified, we're going to hold on to. We're definitely going to... I accidentally sold something that was unidentified in the past, and I've never forgiven myself for it, because now what if I never get that clothing item? Like, what if that was my one opportunity to get it and I blew it, and it can never be retrieved? I think the game keeps track of the types of clothing item you get as well. I think there's like a set number, and now that I can never get that one again, we're going to be in a situation where I can never 100% the game, and it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I'm going to end up having to play the game through all over again just to get that one item. Look, yeah, literally everything we're wearing is better than what we've already gotten. That's mostly because probably I've been doing a lot of upgrades on it back in the room of requirement.
I can do to help.
Hey, look, my hat's working now. I don't know what happened. It's going to stop working eventually, but, I mean, for the moment... How long has this chest just been right here, next to this building? I guess the whole time we've been playing, and I just never noticed. Real briefly, though, what was I doing? What was I going to say? I thought I was just going to check something real quick. Oh, I do kind of want to fly around and test out the new broom, but also, I mean, I understand we're supposed to be talking to Natty. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't feel any faster than when we started today's stream. We've gotten 2 upgrades since then. We've got a fully maxed out broom. And I don't know if I really feel that much of a difference. Well, actually, you know what? When you're kind of going full speed, yeah, I think maybe I feel it a little bit. But not a lot. Maybe this is the developer's way of trolling the audience. Like, you know how you can give someone who's sick, you can give them, what do they call it? Like, not someone who's actually sick, but like a hypochondriac who thinks they're sick. You can give them, like, a sugar pill, and there's a term for it. And it does not a real medication, but placebo. Like, maybe they're testing our ability to determine whether or not these upgrades are just a placebo. Maybe you just think they're faster because you were told they're faster, and I'm out here complaining that they're not. But maybe it's the opposite and they are faster, and it just doesn't feel like it because maybe I've just got that raw need for speed in my life.
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
I guess I'm ready to put an end to Harlow. Who is that? Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm bad at games. There probably is another way to get it. You're probably correct. And yes, placebo is what I was thinking about. You guys are both... Is there a way to lower the latency on these streams? Hold on a minute. I can't while I'm streaming. We're at normal latency right now. I'm going to try to switch it to low latency for the next stream, because I hate having to wait like 30 seconds to get because you guys always know what I'm talking about, but I'm just left stammering for like 30 seconds until I either figure it out or you guys catch up. But you guys are absolutely spot on. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Let's check our inventory. And we're going to go to challenges, but not actually, because we're going to go to collections and clothing, appearance items. We're at 43 of 86. So even though we're like close to the end of the game, we're still missing a ton of different clothing items. So some of these we can get from quests. There's 2 more we can get from exploration. There's 1 we can get from additional content. Keep exploring to unlock all of its secrets. So a lot of these, like quests, we just need to do more quests. I don't know where to explore for these 2, but I guess we just need to explore. And then the rest of these, I guess we'll just get from challenges. But how many challenges do we have left to do? I guess a few. I mean, field guides we're closing in on and combat we're closing in on. But actually combat, is this just like defeat X number of dark wizards, defeat X number of dug bombs, infamous foes? Yeah. Oh, we've actually completed a few of these. And not collected the reward. So, for example, right here, it looks like we never got our Halloween pumpkin mask, so we're definitely going to want to go ahead and collect that. Got to stay on top of these things. You never know what's going to happen. Okay. So then, I mean, do we have any more like that where I've just not accepted them yet? Maybe some in exploration? Oh, yeah. Look at this. We've got our Starry-Eyed Seers Ensemble, as well as our Tailored Tailcoat. Got that. Good. So we're filling them in. We're closing the gaps. Room of Requirement. Not quite, but we'll get there. Breed 10 unique beasts. I'll get to it. I'll get around to it. Conjuration, Spellcraft. What do you want me to do? Rescue more beasts? I need to rescue 11 more beasts, and I need to upgrade my gear 2 more times. All right. Hot diggity. We'll focus on that between streams. I'm not going to waste time with it here now. Natty, let's chat.
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
Interesting.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Very well. I'll speak with them, see what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them.
I like how my hat is
Hopefully
working,
by the time you return,
but her
I will be
like
able to
robe
move a
is
bit more
completely
freely.
busted. The game is it's trying its best right now. It's really working at it. I have not played through the Witcher series. No. I'll tell you what, Brenton has played through The Witcher 3 once a month, every month since I've known. That can't be accurate, but he plays through that game all the time. Sometimes I'll just be chatting with him and he'll be like, yeah, I just started Witcher 3 again. Like, what? How many times can you play this game? So apparently The Witcher 3 is very good. Now, I own all the Witcher games.
Should be nearby.
I should play through them. I keep intending to.
What have I done?
Get a good long sip there, and then let's talk to Daisy. Hi there.
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give,
And my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
I'm kind of getting used to everyone's robes being broken and pitch
Have you
black.
helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No, I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
I keep peeking out the window because I was supposed to do some work outside today, but then it started raining instead. And unfortunately, I mean, I guess I could have checked this earlier, and I didn't. Oh, it's gonna rain all day. Okay. Well, my plan was to stream until it stopped raining, and I was like, once it's done raining, I'll go outside and work. And I just didn't check the weather forecast. It's gonna rain all day. At least a 50% chance every hour for the remainder of the day and until tomorrow. Fantastic. We do hope you will reconsider helping us with our banking needs. We've given you ample time to reach a decision on your own, but we are beginning to lose our patience. We know your husband would appreciate it if you were to see the value in our working together. Shall we expect a response by week's end? Best to keep this between us, if you understand our meaning. Yeah.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
It certainly is.
I hope it's not too late.
Now, to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends.
There do be treasure around these parts, but it looks like it's actually outside and around the corner.
Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there.
Do you see how people's clothing works and then it stops working? Like, you see how her outfit's fine, but then his outfit was fine, but then his outfit broke. Do you reckon if we just tweaked a couple of settings, it might start working again? I mean, I know that's kind of like a hacky solution, but I mean, if it can be done. We are using FSR, of course, because as previously mentioned, this game is very poorly optimized, and using FSR makes it actually work. So we're currently rendering at 1440p, and then upscaling to 4K. I don't think you can tell. I mean, I'm not really sure what we would change here. What have we got? I guess all of these things are off because I hate them all. What if we turned off depth of field? Seems unlikely that that's going to be causing this to happen. But let's see what the game looks like without it. Where'd the guy go with the broken outfit? Come back here, sir. Come back here. No, it's still very broken. And also, I'm not sure if I like the way the game looks without the depth of field on. I kind of like a depth of field game, like a visual filter in a video game. What I don't care for is all of the other things that they tend to apply with their weird little reasoning. Like, oh yeah, you want film grain in your video game? Do you want motion blur? No. No, I don't want any of those. Depth of field, yes. Chromatic increases the filmic realism by emulating the color fringes of a real camera lens. I actually don't know what that means, but we'll turn that on and give it a shot. And then meanwhile, everything's just set to ultra. Ray tracing reflections. Wait, what? I didn't know these were here. I mean, presumably, it's an AMD GPU. It was never going to be good at it. Why is it disabled, though? It could definitely do it. Oh, you know why? Probably because it doesn't realize that we have ray tracing, on our AMD unknown RADV GFX 1100. It probably has no clue how to even get to the ray tracing cores. There's a benchmark we can run? I'm sorry? How does that work? This will run an automated hardware analysis of your machine. You may experience a brief pause, after which the recommended graphical set... No, I don't do that. No, I don't want to... I guess... Okay, the hardware analysis is complete. In the appropriate graphic settings, would you like to apply... Sure, let's see what it thinks we can do. So it thinks we can do everything on Ultra. Has it changed anything in here? No. Good. Alright. That's fine then. We're going to carry on. We're not going to worry about it. I know I'm bad at games. I know. It's wild, right? I think it's insane to think that, you know, someone might build a poorly optimized game and then rely on FSR or DLSS to make it work. Clearly I'm in the wrong for even suggesting such a thing. Like, who would do that? Monsters, that's who. We're not monsters, are we?
Please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
What are you doing back here, sir? In your weird black...
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you?
Leotard.
It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir. I'd like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note on the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
You should have pocketed the note.
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, well, secretly engaged these past 6 months.
Saucy.
We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What does he ask you to do?
This man needs to talk a little bit louder.
So quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it out for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
I mean, you're gonna get married anyway, right? If you've been secretly engaged. So, just do it now. Get married now, and then you no longer have to have him keep the secret. Or just tell the guy, because he's got to find out eventually anyway.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note? That might help me to identify it, should I come across it.
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
Oh, brother.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous.
I mean, I took down a troll.
Letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off.
There's a cat on the roof. I know that sound. I'm sure you guys didn't hear it, but...
How to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
I finally figured out how they were getting up there as well. And I was going to... So there's a bush that has a limb that goes up next to the roof, and I finally managed to catch Rex scaling it. And I was going to cut it down, but I wasn't sure if he, like... I went to get my shears, and when I came back, I wasn't sure if he was up there or not, and I didn't want to strand him up there. And also, I was like, man, there's no harm in him being on the roof. There's nothing he can, like, fall into and get stuck up there. And if he wants to run around up there, he can get down real easy. It gives him this, like, whole extra play space, so I just let it be. But every so often, I just hear the little something running across the roof, and I know who it is.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Tragic, what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
You may have shared Mr. Bickle's fate if you had spoken out against Harlow as he requested.
Unfortunately, I suspect you're right.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again, but do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty.
I noticed that back there was another Tier 3 Alohomora lock, which I said at the start of the stream we hadn't really found any of. But we've now found 2 in this city alone, which means that we probably really do need to focus here soon on finding some more of those. Where are you going in such a hurry? Where are you running off to, pal? With your strangely broken robes. I do like that our hat just works now. Just inexplicably, for no conceivable reason,
It's not like
the hat
Natty
is
to be
functional.
late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there.
Perhaps so, that's a good call. Or maybe something's happened to her, and we'll have to go avenge her. We hope not. We don't want to lose any friends in this adventure. This is a fun game with just wizard children running around and having a great adventure. No one needs to die except for our Slytherin friend, who's going to teach us how to kill people soon, I'm sure. That's like the next logical step. Together, we've learned how to do mind control. We've learned how to do torture, spells. The next stage is that we all learn Avada Kedavra together. And the one kid, I can't remember any characters' names in this, by the way. The one kid who can't see well, or at all. What is his name? He's going to be really upset about it. Maybe he's the one who dies. Oh, that would be tragic. Oh my gosh, that would be like the deepest, darkest twist of all time. Where is she? Is she like inside of the... Oh, what is this?
Natty's wand.
Oh.
She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken.
Do you think so? I mean, interestingly, there's footprints here that weren't there before. There might be something there that wasn't there before. Hi there, you. I'm sorry, wait, what? Hold on. Everyone else heard that, right?
Revelio.
Where was that? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was the sound of a thing being revealed that we can walk up and collect. There it is. Literally right around this corner. Hello there, you field guide page. Mounted Hog's Head. The mounted Hog's Head rolls its eyes and snuffles its nose as it overhears the seedy atmosphere, or oversees even, and decidedly interesting clientele of the Hog's Head. Delightful. Eat some peanuts. Actually, probably don't. They're definitely not fresh. I'm almost positive of it. Hold on. Now, we're going to go get Natty, but also, where did you guys see that thing flying around?
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly.
Where did it go?
Incendio.
Gotcha. Nope. Nope. That's the one. Okay, back into the Hog's Head we go. Sorry, I just got a little bit distracted. Oh, was she taken outside? Was she taken inside? She was taken in, right? What direction are these tracks going? Where are we going? Is this... No, this is actually... Okay, but was there anything else in here to find? No? I mean, I don't want to spit in the pot that badly right now. It's fine. Or spittoon even. So yeah, out and around that way. I see that there's something inside of there, but we'll come back for that. We're going to stay focused here. Ah, naturally. The Ashwinder hideout. Of course. Fortnite. Big Fortnite fan?
Run. There must be a way forward.
Was really intrigued by Fortnite when it first released and was like a cooperative building to fight off, I think it was zombies game. Some of you may recall like this. I watched it on the Yogscast channel. You had to like build a fort and protect like a little thing or some nonsense, and that looked really cool and I liked that. And then when it became a battle royale, it wasn't the same. And I was disappointed. Stop this. Stop this now.
Natty must have been taken this way.
I'm not a battle royale fan. It requires you to be good at games, and I'm just not. It's the reason I don't play Call of Duty anymore. I used to be good at Call of Duty. I used to be really, really good. I had really good like fast reflexes, and I was really good at aiming, and I had like a positive KDR. And then as the years passed,
Better be sure I'm not seeing.
I just lost all of those abilities, and I wasn't good at it anymore. And I've since become that one guy who's just like, yeah, I'd rather just play my single player games. Thanks. And my friends are like, please come play. I still find them fun. I still like playing Overwatch with the boys and everything. But I oftentimes, the thing is that it's not that I'm not having fun, it's that I feel useless, and I feel like that has a negative impact on the overall enjoyment, right? Because when I'm playing and they're doing these crazy things and jumping off of buildings and stabbing people in the back, and then I'm just present and trying not to get killed and trying not to be a burden on everyone, I'm like, man, I don't know about this. And it's fun with friends. That's the thing. I will play any of those games with friends, because then the fun is not necessarily the game, but just hanging out with your friends and having a good time and having wacky things happen and all these different experiences. But on my own, I will not fire up a multiplayer game. I will not join a lobby and bring everyone else down. I will only bring my friends down, because I don't care if I ruin their experience. They can deal with it. It's what they signed up for when we became friends. You know what I mean? They have a no-build mode now. Well, that's kind of cool. So that just kind of simplifies it down to more of a PUBG sort of experience. I wish that they still had the team-based defense experience that they had kind of first launched the game with. I might be the only person who remembers that at this point. But remember, it was originally... You might have been trying to protect the bus, it might have been. You had to build a base around it, and then zombies attacked it, and you and your 3 friends defended it. But then, of course, PUBG took off and became this massive thing. And they just, like, made a Battle Royale mode as well. And I don't think that they knew that they were making the biggest game of all time when they added a Battle Royale mode. I thought they were just trying to get a little bit more interest in what was going to be their base game. I'm sorry, did she kill everyone else already? It kind of feels like she did. Okay, so there's some other people kind of like up top. Presumably out of sight here? We're level 33 now, by the way.
Share and share, like say I.
So do they still have that, then? Or is that what they still have, like, the multiplayer defend against the zombies mode? I'd like to play that. Because that's what the game was originally kind of shipped as and sold as. And I'd be interested in seeing what that's like now. I mean, I know there's a ton of other, like, multiplayer things you can do. I mean, it's basically a platform at this point, isn't it? They can kind of put whatever they want to in it. And they've got a big enough install size that, you know, there will be people to play whatever they throw at it. You are as dear to me as augury, whose voice foretells the coming rain. You are as loved to me as Krupp could be, whose loyalty is true and plain. You have cast a spell over my heart, I want it not undone. You have charmed me from the very start. You have always been the one.
That's book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back.
Absolutely, yeah. Are we just going to go around and try to find all of these different little things? Because I'd be down for it.
Revenue.
I think we've already crawled around back here before. We must have just missed that one object. We're being stealthy because I don't know, it's kind of our thing now. The last Assassin's Creed game, Valhalla, was not very good, so I'm kind of treating these experiences of creeping around down here and doing stuff invisibly. This is my new Assassin's Creed experience. This is making up for what I didn't get from Ubisoft. And honestly, it's doing a pretty bang-up job. This is actually kind of fantastic. Okay. So what's in here?
Revelio.
Where's that guy yelling about? See the rats scampering in this direction, leading to the staircase, the winding staircase. But also, I see that there's another little room over here that might potentially have some treasure. So let's go do that first, and then we'll head upstairs and we'll deal with those guys.
Bombarda.
Okay, that didn't quite work out.
Lumos.
Do we need to maybe pull it off the hinges? Actually, yes. I think that was more or less what it was. I'll pull it out of there. Or I guess maybe don't. Just as long as it's out of the way enough that we can kind of push past it. Oh, I can't see what's happening. This is pitch black for me. Genuinely cannot see anything right now. It is so dark on my screen. Remember, I think some of you might not remember this. I can't remember if that was in a live stream or a recent video I recorded, but I ended up turning down the on-screen brightness a lot because it was kind of hurting my eyes. So the screen is like so dark. When we're in a dark room, it is pitch black. Can I go anywhere from here?
Revelio.
So what was this room all about? What was the purpose of this room?
Lumos.
I guess just that one chest. All right. Where are these guys where they're making all these noises? Are they upstairs? Am I about to sneak up on them here? Could be the case.
What?
I might have to give the no build mode a try at some point.
We should speak to her again. Perhaps she'll tell us where we can find that friend of hers.
She's determined to say nothing. The boss will deal with her when he arrives. Still nothing and no one.
If I likes it, I takes it.
Okay, well that guy somehow survived Petrificus Totalis. Probably because he's level 34. Okay, then, that's fine. Whoa! Just search that chest real quick. Okay, me and you. Okay. I like how I went into a room earlier in the stream with like 40 dwarves in it, and we did a really good job, and then I confront 2 wizards, and it's just too much for me mentally. I just got really overwhelmed during that fight. I don't know why. But we got him in the end, and that's what matters. Alright, let's go find our friend!
You found us! I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you.
I'm literally invisible right now.
Over here. I need your help.
How can you possibly know that it's me? This is not a very effective spell. Maybe that's just... Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Where is that at? Everyone else heard that, right?
Hello, Hamora.
It's not the chest. The chest was here the whole time. It's very dark in these now. Is that also just because of the GPU? With like the key light feeding in? I feel like they didn't used to look like that. You got Isco Rabe's wand. It definitely sounded like something got revealed when I did that a second ago. Was it the chest on the counter? That makes no sense. Alright, let's get you out of here. Hello.
Mr. Rabe, Daisy told me you've been abducted.
This is such a dark image. This cannot be what was intended.
Worried about you. Are you alright?
I am alright. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
He makes a good point. Go ahead, sir.
Revelio.
Got anything else in here? Hey, Natty.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both.
Lumos.
But I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
It'll be easy. I've already killed everyone else here.
Paid for a fight.
Lumos.
These Ashwinders must pay.
I agree. We still got to find Otto Dibble's love letter, as well as... Well, now we have to find a way out of the hideout. But, I mean, where is the love letter? I feel like we've done a really good job exploring everything up until this point. There's only one object on the map.
Lumos.
Right over there, there's like a chest. There's a couple of them. So it's bound to be one of those.
Revelio.
So I guess we just have to figure out how to get upstairs over there. Well, everybody, I figured it out. All you gotta do is... It turns out there's a staircase you can climb. And then what about you? This is definitely gonna be it. My darling Otto, I have read your last letter over and over, and I'm certain to read it again each hour until we are able to meet. I dread the notion that I will not see you soon, but I am not without hope. I long for the day that our engagement can be shared with those who we love, especially my dear father. I do not wonder at your wanting to wait until you are more settled, my love, and I know that you are doing all that you can to ensure such a situation is within your grasp. Please allow me to say that these past months of being unable to share publicly the feelings which exalt me to the uttermost pinnacle of happiness have been an existential challenge indeed. I know. And now I am off to read your letter once more. Yours affectionately, Rosie.
Also, Rosie. Love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
I mean, we can just give it to him. Take that one piece of gold off of there. All right, let's get out of here, Natty. It's been real, it's been good, but it ain't been real good. Is this not the exit? It is so dark. That's a way upstairs, I think. Maybe this is the way out, then? This is a dead end. Maybe we gotta go upstairs and then out there. I don't remember the layout of the place. If you folks thought I was keeping track of all of this, you're out of your minds. It's too dark. I have no idea what's going on in this room. I probably need to turn the brightness back up again, but at this point, I'm committed. I'm committed to living in a world of darkness. That's just my real life, really. Yeah, Valhalla, listen. I didn't hate Valhalla. It's just too much. I feel like it needed to be half the size. Not even in terms of geographically. There's just too much going on. I'm going to finish it someday. I'm going to finish that Let's Play someday.
And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe.
Absolutely.
Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife, Miss Onai. Your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Yes, officer. Do you have enough evidence to take down Harlow and the rest of Rookwood's lot?
Well, it's certainly a good start. We shall see. But you can leave this to me now. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
What are you gonna say? Mom, I got kidnapped and my friend came and rescued me. I don't feel like she's gonna be super upset about that. Like, she's gonna be upset that you got kidnapped, but not at you, surely. I can't fathom that. Imagine that. I'm bad at games, you're not wrong. I loved Odyssey. I thought Odyssey was a fantastic game. I thought it was the perfect follow-on from Origin, because I felt like Origin was like a good change of pace after a series of kind of rough Assassin's Creed games, but I definitely felt like, okay, there needs to be a bit more to it.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
Good on him. Good for you, Otto Dibble. Happy to hear it. But I don't know. Valhalla, the environment's not very interesting. I've explored the entire map, the entire English map. I just ran around and got all of the synchronization points. And it's not a very interesting world compared to Odyssey. And the story isn't super compelling. That's the thing with Odyssey. They did a really good job. I played as Cassandra, so I'll just refer to it as Cassandra's story. But they made a really good job of getting you like invested in her life and what was going on, like right out of the gate. It raises a lot of mysteries, a lot of intrigue, and you kind of want to see things wrapped up and taken to their logical conclusions. So it's pretty good. But then. I don't care about Eivor. I don't care about anything going on in his life. I don't care about any of his people or their quest to build a new home in merry old England. It just does not. I think early on it tries to get you in on this, like, they're going to sip the magic tea and have a weird trip where he meets friggin' Odin and a big wolf. Ooh, what's it all mean? It's like, who cares? Who cares? No one cares. I don't care if Eivor lives or dies. I liked Cassandra. I wanted her to live. I kind of just wanted Odyssey 2, if I'm honest with you. Just to follow up with more Cassandra. That would have been good. Why couldn't they just give us that? Find the location of the third Keeper trial. Righto, I'll get around to that. But first, surprise meeting with Poppy in the Forbidden Forest. We're going to go do that next. I don't know how long we're going to stream. We're not going to stream all day. I did see that comment earlier after I was talking about the rain and how I guess I'm not going to be working outside. I got a comment from Jake Tora asking me if I was going to stream all day, and I don't think so, because I think if I got to the end of the day and I spent the whole time streaming, as much fun as it would be, there are other things I can do inside the house that I should probably work on. I need to record some more, like, you know, Tekken. If I'm honest with you, I should probably do that. But we could just stream that. That would be good too. Stream Tekken 2. Just stop this now and then start streaming Tekken 2. I don't know about that. I need to stream some more. I need to record some more of it though. So, you know, people are clamoring for that, and we have a pretty big project ahead of us that we need to get underway. But I don't know. We'll probably see what a couple more quests here. And I guess before we talk to Poppy, we can go ahead and try our next donuts, if you guys want to. I did get an assortment of them, even if I'm not going to eat them all right now. I might nibble on them throughout the day, and I'll have them tomorrow. So next up, we have ourselves, hold on, let me, you know, we're going to do the donut stream properly. It's the top of the next hour, everybody. Welcome back to the Howdy Folks Donut Stream. And today, face cam, there we go. Today, we are going to sample an old-fashioned with a bit of a sprinkle on one side. You also will hear these described as cake donuts by some. And they're just kind of like messy donuts. They are different. So the way that I've always eaten these traditionally is, you see these little ridges on the side? You can just break them off, and that's your piece. And you can see it is actually quite a bit of a cakier consistency on the inside. It is much more common, or much more akin to, put the rest of this one up, it's something you would get on like a cake of some sort. But otherwise, pretty traditional glaze. That's a good donut. So, what I will say about it, maybe my taste buds have just changed. That one also tastes too sweet. I don't know if maybe there was just too much icing. The thing that I love, we're gonna kind of take that out of the equation. I love the consistency and the texture of a cake donut. At least in the form of an old-fashioned. Because the little ridges mean that you get kind of the crispy outside, and it folds over to the inside, if that makes sense. So you get this real nice, like, chewy cake center with a real nice, almost, not crusty, but, like, firm, crunchy-esque, even, kind of outside. It creates this really nice texture inside your mouth when you're chewing it. You have this nice balance of the two. And that one, maybe we just had a bit too much sugar on one of the edges. Let me break off another little edge here. I'm going to give this one a fair shot. We did 2 bites of the other donut. We should be fair to this one. So you can kind of see what I mean, though. Possibly, if it'll focus on it. Because of the way it's made, like 3 of the 4 sides kind of get that crunchiness to them. And then on the inside, you have the kind of cakey texture that it's just not going to focus on. So, of course, the best donut you can get is the traditional glazed. That's the 10 out of 10. This, I would say, is a solid... I'm going to say 7 out of 10. So I gave the sprinkle a 6 because I liked the added texture of the sprinkles, but the extra glaze needed to get the sprinkles on just made it a little too sweet, like a little too sugary. This, I feel like, is still a little bit too sweet, but not so much.
School since you saved Mr. Rabe and I from the Ashwinders. We have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
We will. That's a good call, Natty. We'll do that. But I don't feel like it's overly sweet. It's just got a little bit of extra sweetness to it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. That's my ranking for that one. And there you go. Hopefully you folks are getting the true donut stream experience with these reviews. And in the future, we'll have different types of donuts.
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
We're ready, Poppy.
Is this where we're meeting the centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise, I suppose.
I'm not sure about this. I can't imagine they're fond of being surprised.
We don't have a choice if we want to help the Snidgets. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
I suppose they are known for having an air of omniscience.
That's exactly the right word. Never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
Okay, well,
That's
now
right.
she's being sus.
We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. We'll meet with them, tell them about the Snidgets, and I'm sure to all be fine.
Uh-oh. There they are!
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah! I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never. We're here because we need your help.
They always just assume the worst, these centaurs.
You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continues to slaughter beasts like us without a care!
From what I can see, they have slaughtered no one. They will leave here unharmed.
I mean, we've killed a lot of people, but mostly wizards.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all 3 of your heads.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
It's great that he just trusts us. Like, what if we are... I mean, we're being clever here. Sneaky and clever. We're pretending we're not poachers. And he's just giving us the information we need.
The moonlight mentioned in the journal doesn't refer to actual moonlight, but to a moonstone. What do moonstones have to do with Snidgets? And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
Isn't moonstone all around us? Why retrieve one from a cave?
Knowing centaurs, I suspect he's referring to a specific moonstone. We'll likely know it when we see it.
Yeah, it'll probably have like a quest icon on top of it.
But I am inclined to believe him, what with his being a centaur and all.
I am too. It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name? Doran.
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather act now and ask questions later. I can head to the library and start looking into the cave you mentioned.
I guess so.
What I find.
I don't know. I feel like maybe we could just... Whatever. I'm leaving. You're on your own out here, kid. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to go do a story quest. Or I guess we could go talk to Natty. I think what Natty would like to do is have a conversation, not necessarily do a quest right now. Yeah, grief and vengeance. So we can go speak to her wherever she is. I probably back at the castle if I had to guess. And then we'll kind of figure out what we're going to do next from there. But... man, the Forbidden Forest is a creepy place. I found a unicorn out here once. In fact, I think maybe right here. No, this is a hideout for whatever these guys are. Okay. Well, I do have quite a few fantastical critters now, and I figured out how to get my hands on them. I've got to get a few more if I'm going to, like, 100% the game and do all the challenges and everything, but we'll get around to it. Also, there's this thing in the game called dueling. Right? I've not done one of these yet. We found this really, really early on in our playthrough, and we never engaged with it, and I keep finding them, but I don't actually know what they are.
Perfect.
Rookwoods don't go down easy. Incendio!
I'm just gonna let this play out. Hello? May I not Petrificus Totalis him?
Bombard.
Right as I went to do Bombard, it came up with the option to do it. But that was like a way quick and easier way of handling things. What is this?
Lumos.
Fight waves of enemies in the battle arena with the unforgivable curses of Avada Kedavra, Imperio, and Crucio, as well as the blasting curse, Confringo. In addition to their unique and devastating effects, unforgivable curses break through all shield charms. We've never done one of these before. I wasn't sure what it was when we found it the first time, ages ago at this point. And now... okay, so I've only got these set spells that I can use. Okay, I see how this works. Alright, wave 1. How many waves are there? Well, first off, this is like a one-shot, one-kill situation, right? So that's the first time we've ever cast that.
What have you done?
Easy peasy.
Just the beginning. You'll go
going to regret that. Had enough?
How many waves do I need to complete?
All that.
Is it infinite? Does it never end?
Not your
One less human to worry about.
Oh.
I will make you.
That was like impossible timing. Hold on. I think I can catch one of those in the air. Yeah. So that's wave 2, I think.
Ranrock has fooled you all. To your demise.
How many do we reckon this just goes to 3 waves, or do we reckon it goes forever, or any of the other options that are available? Why don't we like get one of these guys like under our control to help us out during the fight, and then we can like Avada Kedavra one of them. Why don't we actually start, you know, like using the spells that we have at our disposal? We just kind of sidestepped that without me even realizing it was happening. Yeah, and just enjoy being in pain, sir. Whoa! What the heck? What even happened to me?
Fight for me.
That is not what I meant to do. I didn't want him to have Imperio and a curse on him, because that's kind of useless to me. Oh, we can also just be doing these if we wanted to. These are like insta-kills. It's basically the same as using Avada Kedavra. And then there was you.
You won't stop me.
Oh yeah? How do you feel about that now? You still so confident about that, pal? So that was wave 3 completed. Are we gonna go to wave 4 now, or are we done? Okay, so there's a 4th wave. Oh, it's a fully grown mountain troll. He's dead now. That did no damage at all to this guy. Hold on. Now he's under my control now, right? So now we can just kind of like at our leisure shoot him with different spells. We can pick up all these little blue bits we're getting off of him. Yeah. Start filling these back up, even though they are kind of admittedly a bit useless against him. Now we're going to have to kind of put up with him for a couple of seconds here while we wait on this to reload. But then once it's done reloading, guess what we can do? He's under our control again. We can go back to just kind of shooting him. Yeah, this is fine. And then in a second, we'll be able to just cast insta-kill on him again. And now he's done. Look at that. We're doing a great job. Final wave. Okay, so it's 5 waves.
To the slaughter.
Okay, alright. First off, I know what I want to do. Not that. Not that either. What I want to do is get you under my control. So you're gonna like help me out now. And then we're gonna focus on these guys one at a time. We're gonna focus all of our efforts on one of these guys at a time and pick them all off. Any minute now, that troll is not gonna be under our control anymore. Or he might already be dead. Did they kill the troll? What did they do?
Not so tough now, are ya?
Well, no, I'll admit that did actually catch me by surprise. You did a pretty decent job. Help me out, would you, pal? Thank ya. Okay. Be tortured. And enjoy some explosive, fiery fury. Okay. Whoa!
Quite conductive, aren't we?
There we go. Just take care of those guys. And then how many are there left? Okay, you need to stop doing that to me, sir. Okay, get out of the way. You. Keep fighting for me. I'm not really sure if he's doing a great job. I just kind of feel like this is it's good to keep him busy while I deal with everyone else. So, presumably, they're attacking each other now. So what we can do is, now that it's just me and him, is I can just cast the spell that kills him immediately, and we're done. Situation dealt with. We are victorious. No interest in restarting the challenge, no thank you. I will just return to the Highlands. Cool, now we know what those are. They're just alternate dimensions where you go and fight waves of enemies. Glad we figured that out together. How many more of those do I have to do? What did I learn from that experience? What did I gain? Did I get any treasures or rewards? What did that accomplish anything? Let's look at the map and see if it at least says on the map whether or not we completed that one. It did say that we completed it, to be fair. Does that work towards challenges, maybe? Would that be part of combat, perhaps? I don't see anything in here about doing those. This is mostly just fighting into... Well, what about, like, would it be part of exploration? There's still a locked challenge and we still don't know what it is, and it's ridiculous that we're this many hours in and we still don't know. I guess we won't ever know for sure what that's all about. Let's go to the castle, shall we? Let's go and continue the plot here. And by which I mean,
better days.
We'll go have a conversation with Nat. And then we do have a queued up quest to progress the plot. I can't remember what it was, though, is the only issue. Am I supposed to be talking to someone, maybe? If I hit V... Ask Nat. Okay, so that's just talking to Nat. All right, we're not going to worry about that right now. I mean, that's literally what we're doing, but we don't need that. Can I mean, I know there's certain spots I can't fly to the castle, but can I, like, land in the courtyard up here? Would the game allow that? Is that permissible? It kind of looks like it will. I think she's right here in the Great Hall. It won't let you land in certain parts of the castle. I assume because it's a matter of, like, loading zones. Ooh, I should note, we also got a new SSD. I got my first ever Gen 4 SSD to, like, hopefully reduce the loading times going between, like, different areas of the castle. Because sometimes, you might remember, it would hang and load. And I did figure out that, oh my gosh. Look at that. Looks incredible. I did realize that the Pop! OS drive that I had... And I just, when I started testing all of this way back in 2021, I popped it in a little, like, carrier board and popped it into a by 6 or a by 1 slot. So it was literally a Gen 3 SSD connected with one PCIe lane. And I completely forgot about it. And I was like, it's weird that the game's having hang-ups going between different areas, because it should be pretty quick. I corrected it. I pulled out all my Windows drives, and so that drive is now connected to a Gen 3x4 slot at full speed, and then the new drive that I got is connected to a 4x4 slot at full speed. So should be seeing nice speedy operations.
I've been meaning to speak with you.
Yes, I've been wanting to speak with you as well. How are you?
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
That's parents for you.
I don't blame her for being concerned. We have been involved in some dangerous activities.
As the Ashwinders were locking me up and threatening my life, it did occur to me that my mother may have been right.
Has Officer Singer done anything with
That was so awkward! Why was that so awkward?
Strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
Do you think taking down the Ashwinders will avenge your father's death?
No. Vengeance is not what drives me. My father would not want that. He and my mother raised me to believe that it is a privilege to be able to fight for those who cannot. I know there is risk involved, but I feel it is worth it. I am glad you seem to think so too.
What does your mother think about all of this?
Well, as you saw, she worries a great deal. She is an excellent seer, but I think it bothers her to this day that she did not see my father's death coming. She misses him, as do I. So I believe on some level she understands my need to seek justice in a small way, but that does not mean that she likes it.
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
Oh my, that is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
Oh, shucks.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was. Truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
Oh, well, shucks. Thank you. I think you're absolutely right about that. We are pretty spectacular, aren't we? We're kind of the best, yeah. At least you're not running your GPU at 8x speeds because you forgot to turn off integrated graphics. I remember that. Yeah, you do get fewer like total PCIe lanes with those APUs, I've learned. I have a server running one, and trying to properly divvy up the lanes to get like everything working was a bit of a hassle. But I mean, I got it there in the end. Turns out, for certain things, you really just don't need all the speed. You know, if you're running like a backup server that's just every night at midnight, you know, got a couple of like LSI HBAs plugged in, going to like physical spinning hard drives, and you just want it to back up at night, and be done when you wake up in the morning doesn't need to be the fastest thing in the world. You know, you're giving that thing like 8 hours, it'll get it done. It's fine. No need to push. Farm sim time? You big farm sim kind of guy? Is that what you're into? I think the closest thing I've ever come to playing a farm sim would probably be the few months where I was very into, what is that game called? Stardew Valley. Brenton got into it and got Jenna into it, who got me into it. Jenna had like an insane farm. I don't know if she still plays, or maybe she might have restarted by now, because apparently that's a thing you do in that game. Eventually you just get to a point where you're like, I want to do this all over again. But I kind of dropped out just because there was other things I wanted to play, and I was like, it's the same reason I stopped playing RuneScape. You know, every time I get into it, after about a month or so, I'm like, gosh, life is a real thing that exists, and I should go engage with it. And so I'll stop playing RuneScape. But then about once a year or so, I'm back in there for a month. I'm just like fully invested again for some reason. It's a dangerous thing, RuneScape. It truly is a horrible like cancer, isn't it? A mind cancer, if you will. Let's get off this broom. Should go there. Okay, so we need to go to the map chamber. I think we can fast travel there if we do that, and then that. Which might be a little bit quicker than having to run all the way there, because it's a bit of a journey to the bottom of the school. And maybe before we engage with the map chamber, maybe the time has come for us to do another donut. There's 2 more donuts. I was going to say earlier, Jake Tora was recommending that we change the glaze to like 5 and have that be the starting, like the middle point, because things might be better and things might be worse. I'm not going to do that because I've tried a lot of donuts in my life, and I've never found one I liked more than the simple glaze. Everything for me is like a step below glaze, and that doesn't mean that I don't ever want to try something different. I do, because I don't want the glaze to ever get boring. But from my own personal perspective, I know that the glaze is my favorite, so I just kind of use that as like putting it at 10 is sort of making it the baseline, because everything's going to fall below it. Today, though, our next donut, and the final one we're going to try today, because there's no reason... The 4th one is a glazed donut. There's no reason to try it, because I already know how I feel about it. We have a chocolate old-fashioned. So, like the old-fashioned, but with chocolate icing. And I think I already know how I'm going to feel about this one. As a kid, as a little boy, chocolate donuts were my favorite. They were my absolute favorite, and I loved them so much. And my palate changed as I got older. I don't really like chocolate glazes you get on donuts. Some are better. You get like a really nice premium chocolate, like a real chocolate, not like a Hershey's chocolate or something like that. It's pretty good. But I feel like my thoughts on this are going to be that, you know, we already ranked the first old-fashioned a 7 out of 10. I feel like the chocolate is probably going to make it too sweet and going to lower the rating. But, my gosh, that's a lot of chocolate on there. I'm going to show you sort of the side profile here, and you can see the chocolate really rises up above it. That is crazy amounts of chocolate. Let's give it a shot. Interesting. I don't know what it is with the chocolate they put on these donuts. It's definitely not normal chocolate. Some kind of confectionery chocolate that they have to use to make it actually like firm up. Because it's not soft and it's not squishy. If you have a look at it, it's got some firmness to it, right? This doesn't taste like chocolate, but I'm conflicted. It's got the texture that I like about the old-fashioned. But the chocolate actually gives it a bit more. I thought the chocolate would just be kind of mushy, but it's not. It actually enhances the texture of the old-fashioned. I prefer, I think, the glaze. Like the traditional glaze on the old-fashioned. But the chocolate, it doesn't taste like chocolate. That's the thing. A chocolate donut, the chocolate doesn't taste like chocolate. It doesn't. It has like hints of chocolate. Like there's a cocoa bean in there somewhere. I think it has more of like a powdery sugar taste almost. But I might give it a 7. I'm gonna put it on par with. I think it's as good as the regular old-fashioned, but different. It's like a different lane of the same interstate. You know what I mean? It's like two roads that go to the same place, but one has like a bridge and one has an underpass, and both get you there in the same amount of time. But it just kind of depends on what do you want to drive like through the tunnel under the river and honk your horn and hear the echo and be like, wow, this is so cool? Or do you want to go up the bridge over the river and look out at the horizon? Both are perfectly valid and both are interesting, and you might want to alternate between the two. I can't compare them. I think they're similarly good. I think in future tastings, one might come out above the other. I'm not sure which. I feel like I just had a life-changing experience. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be inferior in some way. Let's speak to the portrait of whoever this is. Hey, Gilliam! I'm sorry you can't join, but I'm glad that
Professor.
you popped in to say hi.
I have news.
It's good to see you.
The goblins are looking for something. Another repository. They've built drills to help with their search.
Most troubling.
Are these repositories like the broken container I found at Rookwood Castle?
They are. I fear we have no time to lose. Have a look at the map. Fortunately, the next trial is fairly nearby.
It's Hogwarts.
As you know, I was headmistress in my time. My portrait hangs in the headmaster's office. In fact, I witnessed Professor Black learn of your arrival. And I'll confess that I wondered about you.
Wait, is the next trial in the headmaster's office?
It is. I had hoped that when the time came, the occupant of that office would be of help to us. Unfortunately, this headmaster seems wildly unconcerned with anything but himself. You'll need to access the office while he's away.
I understand. Very well. I'll find some way to get in.
Good. I shall meet you in my portrait there. Until then.
Huh. Well, that'll be tricky to figure out. Next time! How about that for a setup? That's right, folks. That's right. We are going to take a break here now. Been about 3 hours. Pretty solid stream. I'm going to go drink a ton of water to dilute the sugar that is now in my blood, and then maybe have like a salad or something, just something healthy, because I feel horrible. I feel very unhealthy at the moment. Maybe that's all in my head, I'm not sure. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in. In particular, I want to thank Jake Yates-Daketora, as well as I'm Bad at Games 568, for sticking with me through the whole stream. You guys were here, I mean, not from the beginning, but all the way up until the end. And I appreciate it. I'm also trying to pull up our list of supporters, so I want to give a massive shout out to all of our channel members. So thank you to, in order of subscription, I guess. Big shout out to Lucas Kitts, Purple Lemons, Maria Amor, Jake Yates, and Mayer. Mayer has a great name, by the way. We did a whole bit about that last time. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for your support. I've got some more fun videos coming out for you. I think I teased in the last members-only video that I was working on getting my old, like my first gaming PC case out of storage, cleaned up, and I'm going to be moving my gaming computer into it. And I've been working on that, so I'll do a video about that soon. I got it kind of mostly clean in a state where I can start to figure out what needs to be done, because it needs some stuff. But we're going to be talking about that in future members-only content, so be looking forward to that. And until next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to go outside and stand in the rain, just kind of stare up at the sky with my mouth open. Wonder why ain't nothing